Cameron Steele was raised on the throttle, from 2 wheels to 4, watching his dad race, to being behind the wheel himself. Cameron's life has always orbited around off-road, but it wasn't just racing that defined him, it was how he told the story. After chasing a career in pro motocross and brushing up against the wild world of FMX, Cameron eventually found himself behind the mic. His voice became one of the most recognizable in action sports, bringing the chaos and beauty of the sport into homes across the world. Cameron always showed up with unmatched energy and heart. But what truly sets him apart isn't the podiums or airtime, it's how he used off-road as a platform to build community, give back, and live with purpose. Cameron Steele is the racer's racer, sharing the stoke off-road and leaving behind a legacy as he does it. Gypsy Gang, please welcome the legend, Cameron Steele, to the podcast.
It was brutal.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I didn't put any sunscreen on.
Oh,
stupid.
I got roasted the other day after training. I had some calls that I had to make.
Yeah.
So I get home from training every day at like 11 o'clock or something, you know. And so I'm like, I'll just make my calls on the roof. Strip down to me undies, sitting on my roof. And bro,
Smoked.
just got roasted,
Yeah,
dude.
plus the refraction.
That's what
of
it
the light.
was.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah, that's what got me. Do you ever hit smelling salts when you're in the trophy truck?
No.
Have you ever done it?
Nah.
Don't go too hard. But-
I'm scared. I've been someone was just talking about this.
Oh, I'll do it, yeah. And then I'll do that. Oh.
I've smelled this before though.
Gotta get you going before
Wakey, time for snaky.
wakey. Give it a little hit before the potty in the trophy truck.
Oh, the trophy truck
Clears you out.
lights your hair on fire. You don't need any wake up call for that.
True, just straight gasoline.
It's just go. It's insane what it does.
I bet. Good adrenaline on that.
Yeah, for the most part.
So, Cameron Steele,
Yeah.
joining us on the potty.
Yeah, here I am.
I've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Yeah, I'm psyched. I've been checking out your work. I like the way you deliver it and give it and
Appreciate
listen. It's good. It's fun.
Appreciate
As
it.
a broadcaster, it's always like kind of weird to like be on the other side, but then I got to realize that there's other parts of this. But I enjoy listening to people, broadcast. I like watching TV and listening to people, how they deliver it and put it together.
Dude, you're an OG, man. Like, there was a lot of my childhood was spent, maybe childhood or teenage years, maybe
Childhood is good, probably. I mean,
childhood, yeah. How old are you?
I don't know. I'm 57.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
37. Just
Yeah.
turned 37. So,
Yeah, so I've been broadcasting since, I did some light announcing in the surf world before, but mostly my broadcasting career started in 1998.
Yeah, right.
So I went to the X Games in 99 and it's been crazy ever since.
Dude, you've had a crazy life. Like when you
Fortunate, very fortunate.
Yeah, like when you look back, I always knew that we'd do this and it would be good because you've just had such a crazy life. Like you grew up in the Mecca, your dad was kind of into the whole scene and you're just like San Clemente, born and raised, and just, yeah, it's kind of like the craziest setup to be born a kid into that world at the exact right time too.
It's just a weird zone because there's all these off-road racers and dirt bikers, but San Clemente is like a surfing culture, right? Like all pro surfers, a lot of pro surfers come from there. A lot of my friends and peers and myself, I rode waves on bodyboards for a long time. So it's kind of crazy how many off-roaders come from that area. Like Johnny Campbell, who's like the biggest
OG,
legend in the sport.
Yeah.
He comes from San Clemente. I mean,
Really?
so bizarre, right?
No way.
Yeah, he's 11-time Ball 1000 champion, and we're from the same town, went to the same high school, and we actually just were on a trip together in Baja, a couple trips actually back to back.
Yeah.
We're great friends. He's like my spiritual advisor, so to speak. Like he's my Christian leader in life to help me find my way through things. But he's amazing. He's an amazing human. If there's no more humble human, he and McGrath, I say all the time, are the two most humble badasses that have ever lived on the planet. And I just spent 4 days in Baja with both of them.
Did you know what's crazy? I heard this thing that Logan Paul said the other day, and I'm very rarely taking any real philosophical insight from Logan Paul. but he actually said something along the lines of like, it would not be humble of him to be dishonest about like how good he is at what he does and how good his set up his life and the things that he's done. And he's like, it would be not humble of me to like not at least acknowledge those things. And I think he was talking about something Gordon Ryan said, who's like the best grappler of all time. And it kind of made me think of McGrath, because he is, when you really know him and you're around him, he's so down to earth and humble. But he's the kind of guy that will never downplay his success or downplay what he did. He's very just like, it's very matter of fact.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just right there. He has to accept it.
Yeah.
We just did that trip, and, I got up in front of the group. We had, 44 people, and I was like, hey, we're in the moment. Live it and love it. If you want to get a picture with Johnny or Jeremy, do it.
Yeah.
We're all here right now. All through this couple days, just do it and have fun. These guys are coolest humans in the world.
Yeah.
And you're talking about when you get to know McGrath, how easy he is. But really, my experience too is being around him, no matter who he's around.
Same dude.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Same attitude. This is the same as Johnny Campbell. And all these guys that they're all dirt bikers we had on the strip are from, 20 to 55 or 60, right?
Yeah.
Every single one of them was a McGrath fan.
Yeah.
Every single one of them wanted a photo. And he was approachable by every single one.
Yeah.
And he's just one of the boys.
Yeah.
Roost him. He falls down on his dirt bike. We fall down on a dirt bike, It was just a great experience to have those two guys together. But yeah, those guys, they're the epitome of who I think people should strive to be when you have success. You should try to be one of those guys.
Yeah. No, I haven't spent as much time around Johnny, but like I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time around MC. But yeah, it's like that. I'd never just thought of that angle of, because even there's times like if people would talk about, oh, you've done this and you've done what, I'm like, like it feels a bit weird to, like you kind of want to downplay it. And McGrath just like almost never does that. He's just very like, yeah, man. Yeah, it's great.
I did it.
Yeah. I did exactly that thing. And I almost think like there is a level of humility in that as well.
Yeah, I would agree
just
with
to be like so direct about and real about what you've done.
Well, I think when you deflect your success, like if someone says, oh, you did this or you're this guy or talks about something and you deflect it, I think it makes it can feel uncomfortable
exactly
too, right?
Yeah,
because you're now trying to say, oh, that wasn't the case or that wasn't, and then the person you're talking to might have like, oh, well, this guy, he doesn't want to talk about this. And I think I understand that. I don't want to talk about or toot my own horn or whatever, but at the same time you kind of have to accept what you've done and where you've been and your successes and your failures. And like I said, those guys are amazing. If I could just channel them a little bit in my life, I'm all good.
Yeah, no, he's super cool. We watched a couple Supercross races in here on the podcast at the start of the year. It was just the coolest shit. Like it's never. McGrath is such a normal, down to earth dude, and he's the same whether you see him in a bar in Texas or you see him
on the broadcast.
Anaheim 1 on the broadcast.
Yeah.
He's the same dude, but it's just never lost on me how cool that guy actually is.
I like him as a broadcaster too, because I think he brings some like not necessarily personality, but personal, not just experience, but vibe to it.
Yeah.
I like the way he can draw off of what he did and put it in there without. Can you imagine trying to explain what somebody's doing?
Yeah.
When you did it better than anybody else, that's probably kind of tough to do, right?
And barely had to try, it looked like.
Yeah.
Just did it so easy.
Well, I always say, I have kind of my own personal list of people that I see as the unbelievably natural, talented dirt bike riders who just want to ride behind and be around. And Jeremy's like right on the top of the list. I got two Jeremys on my list actually. So
who's the other one?
Stenberg.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah. They just look like you put them on a motorcycle and they just look like they belong there. And then they can make it do these things. Like, and I'm not talking about the tricks, the knack or whatever. They just look so good.
You're talking about posture,
yeah,
and just sitting on a bike,
anything
on a bike.
they do around it, right? They put their hands on the grips and they just become part of it.
yeah. And both effortlessly cool.
Yeah,
away from the bike too.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's part of that personality, right? Those guys that really have that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, but those guys that have that, they can just be that. And
whenever they want.
Yeah. And
it's so easy.
It's just them. And I kind of like almost anybody that I see that rides like that has that.
Dude, Axel.
Yeah.
Berriman.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's some guys.
Yeah.
I was saying to Ethan yesterday, it's like, we were talking about Jet. And it's just like, God gave with both hands.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, bro, here's all of it. Yeah. Everything. Huge cock, massive talent, just good looking, whole thing. Take all of it. There you go. Yeah. Normally don't give everyone everything. You get the whole enchilada.
He is an amazing dirt bike rider. I mean, just it's so fun to watch him ride. It's like kind of, a lot of people compare him to Jeremy, but it's just fun to watch him ride and the way he rides a motorcycle. So it's been fun these last couple years with Jet and Hunter and some of the other guys. Obviously Hayden coming up. There's a lot of fun kind of stuff to watch in the moto world.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. What was it like from your perspective living through the McGrath era?
Well, so it's kind of the McGrath thing's a little bit weird for me because during McGrath's career, I went from being a wannabe dirt bike rider, kind of finding my way, trying to think on the commentating part was after that, but he was still around, right? So, I mean, my view of the McGrath thing was, watching him at the Mickey Thompson Ultracrosses first and just seeing how he rode and then seeing him at Supercross. And, I mean, if it wasn't instantaneous, it was pretty quick that you knew this guy really was the guy. This is a huge fit. This is a big transition in our sport because there's a lot of talented riders. Unfortunately, we lost Ricky before he could really keep racing Johnson with his injury. But McGrath was kind of like that next guy with flair and style, and he took the sport to a whole nother level. I mean, there's a whole maybe two generations now, or at least one generation that really owe Jeremy for bringing so much to the sport, the eyeballs to it. And it was amazing to be around it. It just, I mean, from the outside looking in, just seeing the fun and success, whether it was the commercials he did and the personality he put out there, whether it was the knack or the finish line or the talking, we saw him, and then to be able to see him, in some of the videos and the free riding, and just really great to be able to see that 20 years of dirt biking and just see it explode, because he really was the leader of the sport for so long until he decided he was going to leave, basically.
And there was definitely a succession plan when he did leave. Like Ricky was right there.
Yeah.
You had Ricky on 250s, James on 125s. Like he did kind of kickstart the modern era of Supercross,
Well, I think that, I mean, Jeremy's style made everybody want to work to be as good as possible to be Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you see that work ethic of Ricky and his family. And they really, I mean, I can't say he wanted to be Jeremy because I can't be inside Ricky's head. But Ricky's amazing in his own right. And he brought that next level of commitment to the sport for the training and all those different things. It's just, but I agree. There's almost like this was here and then this is here with Jeremy and then Ricky and James.
Yeah.
Who are, crazy talented dirt bike riders. James is just amazing to watch ride the dirt bike.
Yeah, you got to be there for just this, like some of the coolest shit, realistically, and like doing the commentary behind the scenes, living here, riding, like really in the zeitgeist of it all.
I think that it's crazy to think that being a mediocre dirt bike rider in worse than mediocre, I would say, racing wise. But I did race. Take it back. I rode some Supercross, and I did ride some free ride or some freestyle. I did hit the ramps, but the crazy part is that somehow transitioned to me to be a commentator, and people saw, whether it was authenticity or knowledge or knowing the people, whatever it was,
that
I got to be a part and around all these amazing things. And it's funny, I'm still partnered up with World of X Games.
Oh yeah,
with my television shows, or our Desert Assassins TV shows that we do. We'll do 3 with them with ESPN World of X Games this year. But my career with them started in '98, so we were asking for some historical footage because we had told a story about myself being a commentator.
Yeah.
And they asked me for some information about what would you like to pull from. And so like I started thinking about the things and the places that where we've been, what's happened, what I was able to watch or commentate on, or, just be the background of.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that people have achieved that it takes a commentator or announcer or television or live or whatever. We're that peripheral to that success.
Yeah.
And so I was able to be a part of some of those things. It's pretty wild when you think about the progression, what's happened with the motorcycles and action sports in general. Because I did a lot of other action sports stuff as well, but the motorcycles have always been like my cornerstone. But to go from, the knack to being able to be a part of the first backflips, the back-to-back backflips, the 360s, the double backflips, and some of the stunts, the Robbo,
like Moto stuff,
Moto stuff, just cringeworthy as a commentator.
Oh yeah,
so gnarly. Like there's such an edge for a commentator. Like you almost don't want to be there.
Yeah,
But when it goes good, you're like, that was so rad. I don't know. For me as a commentator, I always kind of felt the pressure.
Yeah.
That
you felt like the heaviness of the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I never was worried about. I didn't worry about the guys crashing or anything, because they always were matter of fact, and they knew they were going to do it right.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that kind of pressure. I just always felt like that the moment was like growing, and it's like, holy crap, so crazy.
But I mean, there's probably, as a commentator or as somebody on the broadcast team, like you almost want to get swept up in that, because I think when you do feel that moment, it might have been one of the things that made you good at that job, is that you allowed the moment to get to you in a way to where then it comes across to the viewer, like just how heavy that moment feels.
Maybe in the moment it's hard to say, but yeah, the moment sweeps you up.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible to be a part of that. Like I said, to be a peripheral to whether it was the racing success, the athletes coming in, the freestyle, the stunts. I mean, so much that happened, and it was very. I was honored, and it's very cool to just be on that edge, to be able to be a part of it. The minuscule part.
Do you remember what SoCal was like before bros were a thing? I feel like bros were invented. Like the whole 909.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like before that? Or was there like a weird beach and inland empire thing? Like what was that whole deal like?
I don't know about the bro thing, but I can definitely certainly go back to where we first started seeing more flat bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was a huge surf culture, right? So that's what I came up in. I grew up every day in junior high school and high school. I sat on a wall at the pier in San Clemente, and I watched the surf, and I surfed the surf, and it was all surf culture, and you could see it. What the I guess at the time the OP Pro and like the pipeline contest, all that stuff. Like you had this culture of surf, and it seemed like it was resonating everywhere.
Yeah, all through
California, and then
it kind of went into skate.
Yeah, I think the skate culture started coming in, but so did this moto culture or the flat bill or whatever. And so I think that almost like these cultures came together and fed off of each other, but still had their own identities. It was kind of cool to see it grow up and blow up, right? I mean, because there's so many brands that have come out of not just Southern California, but out of these kind of surf and action sport moto culture. It's pretty incredible to see where people have taken it. I think the other thing that's really amazing about those cultures is it grew a lot of athletes into business people.
Yes.
And they took off with ideas, and they found a footing to make it work, where maybe in the 70s and early 80s or whatever, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But as the culture shifted and had opportunity for all the different groups, everybody could prosper with their own ideas. And so I thought that was a great time to have all these different, companies. And what was at the time was interesting was there was a number of companies that were like sharing their vibe around all the different sports.
Yeah.
They were touching into.
Fox was kind of like that.
Yeah, Fox for sure.
Yeah.
It was someone that was involved with SMP, sponsored multiple different athletes. There's probably 100 companies that we could name, but it was fun to see the crossover too, and like to be able to see some of those brands get to the beach and some of the beach brands get to the dirt bikes or the jump parks or whatever it was at the time.
So when you growing up in San Clemente,
I moved to San Clemente in 1979.
How old were you?
11, maybe 79, 80. So
where'd you live before that?
I was born in San Francisco. Jeremy and I have a crazy connection on that. McGrath and I both were born in the city. And my family jumped around quite a bit. We lived, I don't really remember most of it, but we lived in Hermosa, Redondo, Manhattan, Huntington Beach, and then Laguna Hills. I had kind of a longer stand in. And then by the time I was, I think, 7th grade, I moved.
So you just stopped at Pendleton?
Yeah, well, it ended there, right? But for some reason, my dad chose San Clemente, and thankfully he did, because we could still moto, and we could learn to surf and get involved. So yeah, I've been in San Clemente since whatever 80, right around 80.
Yeah,
and it's been a great ride.
What did your dad do?
My dad, as a youngster, drove logging trucks in Oregon. He was born in Oregon, and then he moved down towards California, or into California. But he wanted to be an actor, so he was kind of running around with an acting group of guys. He had some famous friends, but he got in the military when he was real young, before he was 18. That didn't work out both times, and he ended up getting into the car business. And he was a GSM. Selling cars, and that's how he got to Baja. He had been to Baja, but when he first went to Baja for the races in 1970, he went as a guest of Parnelli Jones, and Parnelli knew my dad. My dad worked for Parnelli, and Parnelli knew my dad had an airplane, and so he asked my dad to come fly. I think this is the story, obviously. I mean, I was a little kid. I don't know. I was just born, really. And I've seen the pictures, though, from the airplane. I still have them. But my dad flew for Parnelli, and the next year my dad was on the starting line at the 1971 Baja 1000, and so that was the trajectory our life took. From that time forward, I remember as far back as I can remember, there was race cars in our garage, and there was guys prepping race cars, and we were going to the races. We went to 6, 7, 8, 9 races a year, and I would just be the kid playing in the dirt. Then I was the kid riding the motorcycle around. Then I was the kid riding shotgun with my dad. I started navigating when I was 12.
No way.
Yeah, and then I started driving when I was 15. So my dad ran it pretty wide open.
Yeah.
But he raced from 71 till about maybe 88 or so, and then that was kind of like my brother and I were kind of taking the reins and racing under the family name, so to speak.
Yeah. How much has San Clemente changed since the 80s?
Well, the earliest sign I can remember, the population sign, was 22,000.
Yeah.
And now I think it's 60 some odd thousand.
Okay.
So it's changed quite a bit. I mean, Capo Beach is kind of very similar to what it was, but most of San Clemente, the back hill side, none of that existed. It was all, originally it was drawn and planned by a guy named Ole Hansen, who chose to make it the Spanish Village by the Sea. That's why all the roofs are red tile, because they had a rule you had to keep that style. But that was all mostly on the west side of the highway, or what would become the highway. It was a 2-lane road probably at one point, but the freeway, I think, was finished just before I moved into town. But it was small. I mean, it was real small. I mean, we I think in my class at school we had maybe 400 people. So I think there's 1,000 plus now. But it was just kind of small town. You kind of knew everybody. You knew all the street names. You knew where to go surf, and like Dana Point, which is the very next town, was a long way away. We really didn't go to Dana Point. You know, we hung out in San Clemente.
It's all the same thing now, except one little stretch of cliff, really.
Yeah, I mean, like I was down at Salt Creek the other day. My daughter was at junior lifeguards. I'm like, man, the only time I ever went down there was to shoot photos back in the days. I'd never really hung out at Salt Creek. You know, it's a beautiful beach.
Yeah,
know?
You're like, damn, this is like 30 minutes away.
Yeah, it's like 4 minutes away.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 minutes maybe from my house, but yeah, it's just interesting, the culture and the styles, and it's changed a lot. I mean, to answer your question, it's but at the same time, although it's changed a lot, it still has a huge influence in surf. You know, we had all these surfing icons that came up when I was in high school. You know, Matt Archibald, Dino Andino, Jimmy Hogan, like guys that were world tour level surfers. Mike Parsons, guys that won on the tour, on the U.S. tour. Now we have guys that are on the world tour again. You know,
yeah,
and it's
you got Griff, you had Kolohe.
Yeah, Kolohe still competing. Dino's son. We actually, our off-road shop has built trucks for Dino and Kolohe. Cole Hauschman is one of our friends also. We know Griff a little bit. And I'm proud of those guys. I get up I was up at crazy hours while they're in South Africa surfing so I can watch.
That's awesome.
Because I still love the surfing. You know, I'm not very good at it, but I still love to watch it, stay involved with it, be around it. I worked in the surf industry for a little while. In fact, I visited this very building when I was working in the surf industry.
What did you do in the surf industry?
I did a little bit of everything. Not everything, but I did sales for some magazines.
Yeah.
For a while, they were action sports books. So Wave Action was a surf magazine, Pit Bodyboard magazine, Plow Snowboard magazine, and so I would come up here. This used to be the Hurley building.
Yeah.
Or is the Hurley? I saw there back there, but I'd come up and try to sell advertising and stuff. But I used to, this Placentia area right here, you know, we used to come to surf events. Quicksilver was on the street.
Yeah.
I don't know if
DC was back here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of brands that were in this area. So as an athlete, I did come in this area. But as a salesperson for the magazines, I was in this area. And then that changed for me because I became the guy on the other side, and I worked in marketing at Gotcha and MCD for a couple of years. I worked for a guy named Michael Thompson, who's a surfing icon and legend. He started the brand Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Joel Cooper was his partner, who's still around and a certified badass for sure. But I went on to work in the marketing with those guys, and then that just kind of grew into our brand MCD, which was one of the clothing brands. They ended up sponsoring the first ESPN X Games qualifier. It was called the MCD Freeride Championships at the Costa Mesa Speedway, which is right up the road.
Yeah.
And I actually went there to attempt to be a rider, and I knew that wasn't going to work out. There was like 40 guys entered, and I had never jumped off a metal ramp before, and there was ramps.
No way.
I was like kind of like super nervous, you know.
Yeah.
And I wasn't good enough to be in the comp, but like that was kind of where I was, you know, kind of that where I fit at that time.
Yeah.
And out of all of that, somehow or another, Paul Tablib, who has created a bunch of big movies and documentaries.
He just did the Supercross.
Pay Dirt, right?
Pay Dirt.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
I have seen it. I saw early pre-production version, so I'm not sure if I saw what the final version is.
Yeah.
But
they just released it on iTunes.
Yeah, I think on the 18th, right?
We should watch it tonight. I haven't. Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I've been gone since they launched it. So
there was they did the premiere here, but
cool.
we were just too busy to actually get there. But
yeah. So
what did you do with Paul? Sorry.
He offered me a job to be commentator.
So that's what it came through.
He asked me. He's like, hey, I've been talking to some people about who might be a good commentator because there's no commentator. The event this is Thursday, I think. The event's Friday and Saturday, and they really didn't have a commentator. And he's like, hey, these people said they think you'd be good at this. You know, obviously.
Do you know who it was that suggested it?
I don't remember. I don't know, but you know. Maybe he was just trying to save my life, so I didn't try to hit the ramp.
Yeah, imagine.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I asked him about him. What does that pay? You know, loosely. Like, it'll pay better than 10th place, or I think is what he said. And I'm like, I'll take it. And so I showed up the next day. I had a collared MCD shirt on. They were sponsoring it, like this wild line. I still have it. I kept it.
No way.
And I'm just kind of standing around. I've been watching practice all day and whatever. And finally this guy comes over. He's like, "Hey, are you the announcer?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Here's the microphone. Don't drop it. Turn it on like this and push this button to mute it." I was like,
"No way."
Yeah.
That's it.
I got a little instruction from Paul and Tess, who was there also, who I ended up commentating with for years and years and years. But those guys are legendary. I mean, they went for it and created this, there was other people in the mix with freestyle and jump contests and stuff, but Paul and Tess had done this deal with X Games, I guess, to create this qualifier, and it was a one-event qualifier, and 1998, October. And I got my screen test from accidentally, someone filmed me while I was live commentating, and so the television producer sent that to ESPN, and they're like, "Yeah, use that guy." And so Todd Harris, who's
a legend,
big Supercross announcer, but also like I would say he's one of the very best.
I think so too, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's great, and I think he's a great Supercross commentator.
Yeah,
I worked with Todd, and that was the first time. And
what's his background?
He rides. His family rides.
I thought he did ride.
Yeah, they live in, I think, Utah. He's just such a nice guy.
He really does seem like it.
He is one of those nicest humans ever. No matter how many TV shows he's been on, it's like we were talking about McGrath and Johnny Campbell. This is that same guy. Like humble as the day is long, and he just super cool. He helped me a ton. And from him helping me, I was able to like kind of make those steps to go
like be legitimate. You could do it in any sport,
more or less. Yeah. I mean, I tried to avoid doing sports that I wasn't in or around.
Yeah.
But I did end up doing a lot of different sports just because I was a commentator that people trusted, I guess.
What did you think? Because it kind of turned into a career, almost, like basically.
It was a career. It was a total career. I mean, I wasn't really sure at first what it was going to be. I went to the X Games in '99, and never forget, like, calling the event, talking live on television. It was a total fit for me. Like, it was like,
yeah, dude, you're so natural.
It was easy for me.
Yeah.
And people talking in my ear, people yelling at each other that I can hear in my headset, it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
And so, Jerry Bernardo and I think, called that first one.
Yeah.
And it became more than just commentating.
Dude, Jerry Bernardo.
What a legend.
Another legend, dude.
Dude, the guy dropped some great television commentary.
Yeah.
Jerry, Todd, myself, a bunch of no rehearsals, just like straight come on the air and go.
Yeah.
Really didn't have to talk about what we're going to do. Didn't ever talk over each other really. And it was a lot of fun with Jerry. And we commentated tons of stuff, summer and winter together. But yeah, it turned on into well,
because then you did Supercross.
X Games. Yeah, it turned into Supercross, Motocross.
Yeah.
U.S. Motocross Championships at the time.
So this was before the 2008 when they changed to MX Sports?
I'm not sure
what years did you do.
I have no idea.
Motocross stuff?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
That's
I have
awesome.
no idea whatsoever because it all blurs together.
Oh,
so
for sure.
I can tell you when I started.
Who was racing?
Who
won championships? We'll be able to figure it out backwards.
Well, I know Ricky was there when I was there commentating.
What bike?
He was on the Hondas.
So early?
Yeah.
So that's from 2002 to 2004.
I was there before when James first came up. I was there.
Yeah.
And I was there when Chad came over.
Yeah. So like late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm gonna say it was like maybe 2003 to 2008 in that window somewhere. So I started as a reporter. I did the interviews.
Yeah.
And reporting work. The guy in the stands or the guy in the pits or whatever. And then I ended up in the booth for a couple years. And then after I did it for ESPN, I went on to do it for Amped Mobile.
Yeah.
On a live digital platform. So we called the races. We introed the race calls live on the phone, so people could watch on their handset on the telephone.
No way.
The Supercross, but I'm not exactly sure the years.
Yeah.
But I was around with those guys quite a bit for those years. Yeah, so once I was not with the proper broadcast, I stayed in with the sub broadcast.
Like the Ant Mobile one.
Yeah, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that with Eric Apple, actually.
Yeah, right.
Too. Yeah.
No way.
Who went on to be, a fighter and a commentator.
Yeah.
Still commentating, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric and I go way back. We both rode bodyboards professionally as younger guys.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy small world, eh?
Yeah. I always say, like, make sure you treat people good no matter what you're doing, because eventually you're going to come back around.
Yeah, you'll see them again at some point.
For sure, especially people in the industry. It's like, whether if you have a disagreement or you don't agree on a deal or whatever it is, you're going to come back around to those people. So you should definitely always try to take that high road and treat people the way you would want to be treated, even if you got to tell them, hey, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Or it's not a deal or whatever, or I'm out of here. Try to be mostly pleasant. That's harder when you're younger, right? Because you think you know everything.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a little bit more seasoned, it's easier to see that. But hopefully most people are okay with me.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, even now, like, because I'm getting a little bit older, and I first came over here in 2010. So it's
been a minute.
It's a long time now. And some of the guys that I first was going to the bars with after races and being friends with when I first got here, they were boot guys and goggle guys, and now they're literally running Fox.
Yeah, that's a trajectory, right?
And it's like, it's when you said that, I was like, it's so true.
Yeah.
Because some of my very first friends in America were like entry level, just scratching at the door when I got here, and now they're some of like the biggest decision makers in the sport.
That's cool because they were friendly and nice and they worked their way up.
And we were all just low level dudes.
Okay, so I got a question for you because I can't ever remember. What year did we first come over and do freestyle at the Docklands in Melbourne? Do you know when that was? Because that was something
with Crusty.
No, it was before that. It was an event, World Supercross or World. Wait. World, what was
Are you thinking?
I know we did it. We did it in Perth. We
Yeah.
did it in Melbourne, and we did it in Sydney.
It was like the old Australian Supercross Masters and shit, wasn't it?
There was no Supercross. It was only freestyle.
It was
Seth
a freestyle.
came over and jumped in the Olympic Stadium.
Wasn't it a Crusty tour?
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember the first Australian guys. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember when it was. And so it really was.
I wonder what. So what Aussie boys were there?
Dane Kennard was there. This
Luke
was
Urich.
First time, I think, riding freestyle. Luke was there. Lee was there.
Yeah.
Jono.
Porter,
yeah. Those guys were there. Mike Jones was there from the U.S. Clifford was there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being there. I could have my stories mixed up, but I think I actually rode dirt bikes while I was there. It was pretty cool. We rode down somewhere in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Rode out in the Never Never somewhere out there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that would have been either late 90s?
Would it have been that long ago? See, so I didn't start broadcasting really till 99.
Well, I think Jono Porter died. Can you look up when Jono Porter?
What a bummer, huh?
Oh, dude. And the nicest fucking guy.
All those guys were super nice guys.
So much talent.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad. But I want to say he died in like 2003.
Oh, really? Shoot, it's been that long.
Yeah. Wait, can you find it? Type in Jono Porter, JONOPORTER, motocross death. Yeah, he died at Coolum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the first turn. Because he was like a really good racer.
Well, that was the thing.
He was kind of like the Aussie Pastrana.
Like he may not have ridden at the very first comp, but he ended up riding at the comps. Again, this is my soft memory, trying to remember all those things. But I do remember him being around, and I'm not sure if he rode the first comp, but I remember meeting him and seeing him ride.
Yeah,
as part of that group.
What's that? 2004 it was.
Then it would have been late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it would have had to be in that window.
All that stuff was probably happening in that window because I went from the Supercross Motocross to Champ Car and the sub series for IndyCar, the Atlantics, and then I went on to Champ Car for a few years. So, yeah, I mean, and that was all, I basically left commentating in by 15, I was pretty much like kind of over all the traveling, and I ended up working for Lucas Oil for
the truck stuff.
Yeah, maybe 10 through 18, and I stayed with X Games through 18.
Yeah.
Or 17, and then after that, it was just our stuff mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to think about compressed, right?
Dude.
All those years, right? They're in this little 15-year box.
Yeah.
Where were we and what did we do?
This podcast is brought to you by our new electrolyte partner, SOTA Fuel. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you would know that I'm pretty big on the whole hydration thing. Every single day, I make sure I drink water mixed with SOTA Fuel electrolyte mix. SOTA Fuel is packed with all 6 essential electrolytes and key vitamins to help keep you hydrated and performing at your best. With up to 5 times more effective hydration than water alone, you'll stay energized and focused throughout your ride. Plus, there's no added sugar, so you won't experience those dreaded spikes or sugar crashes. As far as a supplement for riding dirt bikes, SOTA Fuel is your friend on and off the track. It helps reduce arm pump, muscle fatigues, keeps you hydrated to avoid headaches, and provides sustained energy to keep you sharp. SOTA Fuel is not only effective, but it's also one of the cleanest and most complete formulas on the market, with 2 to 3 times the electrolytes compared to industry standard and a cost per gram that is twice as affordable. Lightweight, portable sachets are perfect. Throw in your gear bag, throw in your toiletries bag, throw in your work bag. They've got 4 great flavors, but my personal favorite is this bad boy right here. Gypsy Juice. This is our very own flavor. I think it is by far the best flavor out of the 4. Go to sotafuel.com right now or click the link in the description. I would love for you guys to try it.
Like, I'll see things on the internet. Like, people have been posting a bunch of flashback freestyle stuff. I'm like, when was that? 1997. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time I saw the Crusty Demons video. I was like, mind blown. I'm like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, what year was that?
I must have been 97, right? Because that's when it came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And
what was the buzz like here?
Oh,
because this was the spot where it happened.
My buddy, so I used to ride dirt bikes with a guy named Don Burke and BMX ride with him. He's a super talented guy. And he called me up. Must have been on the house phone. I don't know if there were cell phones. Yeah, right? And he's like, you gotta see this. Come over to my house. He's the same guy that turned me on to listening to Pantera.
So, this guy fucks.
The guy goes for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we watched in his living room, Crusty. I was just like, holy shit, we got to get new bikes and we got to go ride. This is unbelievable. I mean, I'm not sure how many people in the world it impacted like that, but like, I was like, I need a motorcycle and I got to go ride. Dude. And it was amazing. My mind's still blown. Like, I can still hear the songs. Like, when a song comes on Sirius or something from that video, or I hear something online playing in the background, and boom, it's straight back to that moment. It's like kind of like Tony Hawk, pro skater, right? You hear those songs, you're like, oh,
dude, 100%.
Still do those. I can still flick the dial, right?
Just button mash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not sure how it worked, but it did.
Dude, I remember. So we had my dad was in like a motorcycle group, and we had some like cousins that were cops and uncle and like that sort of stuff. So he was in like, it was called Prang, Police, Riders, and something group. And it was like all these cops and a few other dudes that just rode dual sports and did like these big tours and race motocross together and shit. So anyway, one of the boys from that, I can't remember maybe 97 it came out.
So yeah, I think so. Right in there. He can tell us.
So I was 9 when it came out. And I remember Uncle Ando rolled through the front door. I was sitting on the couch, and like, he'd obviously told my dad that we had to watch this movie. And the dirt bike shop in town that had all the
on the
VHS
on the PAL system.
Yeah, it was called Wayne Leonard Motorcycles. So he's like, I heard him on the phone today. He's like, I stopped at Wayne Leonard's. I got the Crusty Demons movie. I'm coming over. And he rolled up. I was already sitting on the couch. My brother was there. My dad was there. Pops in the VHS. Crusty 1.
Yeah, right?
Just fucking completely changed my life.
What were they thinking? It was amazing, though.
Unbelievable.
Such an opportunity for so many talented dirt bike riders that weren't gonna or didn't want to do that extra work to race dirt bikes, to find another avenue, a whole other area of companies and brands and styles and ideas and looks.
Generated a complete new culture.
For sure.
Like, and you would have seen it here.
Yeah, and those guys had pioneered some of the snowboard movies.
Dana and John
and Cammy and that group.
Yeah.
And I mean, they took that formula and just knocked the door down. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that, I think, helped breathe energy into all action sports media. But we were living in this time, right? Like, I worked for Gotcha and MCD, and then Marvin Winkler was a part of that brand, and he made a deal with the Broadcom guys, and it became Blue Torch TV. And next thing I know, we're creating weeks of content for this TV show that's on every single day.
What channel was it on?
Fox Sports.
Really?
Yeah, CJ Oliveris, who's still in the action sports.
What was it called?
Sports. Blue Torch TV. First, there was.
Can you look that up on the lap? See if there's any YouTube clips of that.
First, there was. I can't remember. I must be old and soft in the head. Oh, he's gonna look it up.
Yeah, type it in.
There's probably some Blue Torch TV somewhere.
Blue Torch TV. My whole algorithm is this
one word.
Blue Torch TV.
There it is.
My whole algorithm is this Epstein thing, bro. It's taken over.
So there's just a bunch of, like, how
no way, dude.
Are all, yeah. So anyway, there's a whole.
And this was on Fox.
I want to say it was on Fox. Yeah.
Metzger.
So. Yeah.
2002.
Does it say it
MX Moto Survival Tour by Etnies.
Yeah.
Dude, this is living. And so you were hosting these, like, TV segments?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we traveled this trip right here. We traveled for maybe 6 days as a group with all different teams. I think the Crusty guys had a team. The S&P guys had a team. Moto XXX had a team.
Moto Survival Tour presented by Etnies hit the road with a circus of 50 people, 9 RVs.
Wow.
So that's the group. We traveled like Grand Junction, Caneville, Glamis, Akatia.
Just hit all the spots.
Yeah. The premise of it was because it was developing new live content. So you would, every day, the riders would go out and try to get a clip and upload it. And then people at home would vote, and whoever got the most votes stayed in.
Yeah, so it's like a bit of reality show.
Yeah, a bit of reality thing, yeah. But it just turned into a great time, everybody just riding dirt bikes together. And
just cool that people were like, can you pause that? It's cool people were investing in that.
Yeah, no, it was all that action sports, time, now it's social media. Then there was no social media, but now that's where the vibe of the edits and the people that were creating those action sports TV shows or whatever it was are now working on people's social, probably, or have ascended to be know-it-all social people, or I don't know what the right name is, the CEOs of a social company or something. It's like we talked about, that natural progression of people. So a lot of great times. Like, so that one you saw was dirt bikes, but they did it for wakeboarding and BMX. And
really?
Yeah. So they had a bunch of different hosts, they had a bunch of different sports, and they would create, sometimes it'd be a week of content from one event. Like, they created, so bang, a year came into my head. In 2003, there was an event series called the Blue Torch. It wasn't Blue Torch. It was a company that sponsored it. I can't remember who, but it was called the Ride and Slide competition. And they would have a Freestyle Moto X competition and a wakeboard competition at the same time at the same venue. So, like, one I remember they did was in Lake Elsinore.
Yeah.
And they did one in Irvine Lake and had these crazy freestyle courses and a wakeboard contest right next door. So the athletes all commingled. It was like a happening, It was like want to say it was like a mini X Games because nothing was like the X Games. The X Games is just like they put so much effort into action sports. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was definitely one of those things that like helped explode these sports out into the mainstream.
Do you remember watching the culture become more normal here? To where, because I think that the action sports culture kind of permeated to the point where even people that didn't ride kind of repped the uniform in a way.
I think that goes back to the marketing of certain vibes and personalities start to take over an area, and then that transcends and goes out and grows.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, what was happening with these sports. I mean, I think that I can't, there was a time that back to your, you were talking about, I said flat bill, you said bro.
Yeah.
But back in that time if you showed up somewhere with your socks pulled up high and your shorts on and your flat bill hat or whatever, people would like make a comment, so I guess there was a little bit of a stigma for a while.
So where did that come from first?
I don't know. I mean,
like what would be the origins of like flat bill, socks up high, shorts instead of pants? Like I wonder what predated the action sports version of that.
Probably somewhere in music.
It's probably punk rock, right?
I was gonna say punk rock.
Like hardcore almost even.
Maybe, but I mean, I think music really is the ultimate influencer for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure everything came from music at one point.
Well, I think that's what Crusty did so well. I remember being a kid, and it's funny, like I got some friends that are like massive music heads, and they'll go through and I'll be like, oh, I love that song. And they're like, oh, this album, I didn't really listen to the album. It was just like on a Crusty Demon or a Nitro Circus.
Yeah.
And then I got on Napster or LimeWire. And then I downloaded that song.
What year was that? What year were those things happening?
Dude, I don't know. I wonder what was Napster's like big breakout year? It'd have to be like early 2000s.
I would say, very early 2000s. Right?
I think all this was kind of happening.
Well, I think all of it's happening, right? Because
at
all
the
of a sudden
same
there's a platform
sort of time.
for it, right?
Yeah.
There's,
yeah.
Because you got to remember, previous to maybe the 80s, you have 13 television channels or whatever, much smaller television channels. You've got the rabbit ears or whatever off the back of the TV.
Yeah.
And I can still remember when we first got a cable box in the maybe mid 70s, we're like, what? There's 30 channels, and like, I think that out of all the opportunity grows all these different things. Right. So when I was with Blue Torch, the owners could have chosen anything. It didn't have to be action sports. It could have been football. It could have been cooking. It could have been anything to fill that time frame to propel the idea they had of selling direct through the cable box. Yeah. Through a chip that they were creating.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that all these different things, all these different
they kind of blended together.
Personalities, they found a home. They found a place. Now, how many television and web channels are there? I mean, millions?
Well, yeah, now we just have our
endless.
own. Yeah, now it's my channel.
Right.
It's like we have multiple YouTube and social media and like
when YouTube first started, you're like, what?
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, that's where everybody goes.
Like there was the music influenced the writing, and that it had a sound that fit the vibe and the aesthetic, and the fashion probably translated over. And then you've got the rise of cable, so now there's so much more space that needs to be filled on these channels, but then you've kind of like also got the internet that's happening at the same time. It was one of the things that I always said about America, obviously like being an immigrant. I would always look at America and be like, that could never work in Australia. Like there's just not enough people on the fringe to turn that into a viable thing. But there's so many people in America that fringe culture can become culture in a way that only a lot of free people can actually make.
Yeah, well, I think the freedom of being able to be creative, right? So there's people that everybody has a niche, right? Like for us out here, all these West Coast things, whether it's surf or moto, off-road racing is a huge part of the culture in Southern California. But, you might go back east and see mud bogs and flat track and, different things influence people and they see, but now there's an avenue for them to be out there and be seen.
Yeah.
Whereas the people that maybe liked that only had the opportunity to see motocross. So everybody watched motocross because that was the only thing that was
only flavor
propelled out there,
yeah.
Whether it was television or early web. Now everybody has a way to propel. So I think that goes back to, trying to be a good person because you want everybody to be stoked and think that, so sometimes, I think that sometimes you want to, sometimes attention is not always the best thing. So you want to just go out and be consistent.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that whole ability for people now to be anywhere and see anything,
everything.
Yeah. It just has changed the landscape. I wonder, like, there probably is a bit of a U-curve of where it was just really at its peak. Like the internet hadn't quite diluted everything yet.
For sure.
There was a peak.
I think the peak, in my opinion, it came along with MTV, right? And they probably rode that to the highest level and somewhere in there that peak of delusion came, but not delusion, but dissolved into all these different things.
Yeah.
But man, that the culture that they pushed really was the leading edge of what was happening for so long, and probably still to this day.
Yeah, you had MTV on the music and lifestyle front, and then ESPN on the sport front. Because I mean, as good, maybe you could probably speak to this better than me, but as good as motocross and supercross are doing now, to be able to watch on ESPN, it's kind of a way bigger deal. I don't know, was that the peak when Moto and Supercross was on ESPN, or do you think now is even bigger?
Well, I think everything's bigger because there's more eyes and more availability, right? I think it was a huge piece of the puzzle when it was on ESPN because at that time, ESPN was this massive sports network, and for them to, have
it validated the sport,
right? And they didn't just have the racing; they had the Moto World, and they did some other things around it. They supported it. That's one thing I really liked about being with and still am with ESPN in some ways. Not really. I never worked for them. I was always an independent contractor or fringe, whatever. But I always liked the way they built
shoulder content.
Yeah, they really were really good at supporting what they got involved in, and it's testimony to the X Games. I mean, look at what they did, and they gave a platform for all these athletes, and they didn't tell people what to do, and they took input from the real course builders that were building the courses with these guys, and they just kind of like they supported it. Then they put it on television. Then they had after shows, pre-shows, side shows, sports shows, and developed all this content. But they did that great with football and baseball and all the other sports too. So I always loved being a part of ESPN because as a peripheral guy, I could see those commentators working, and I got to work with some of those bigger commentators on the host set in the early days of the X Games, and it was just amazing at how much commitment they had to all the sports they were involved with. Like they don't just tip. They don't if they're in it, they're in it. You know, and that's what I think is the word authenticity is kind of used too much, but I think that's what those events through X Games, ESPN, and then Supercross and all that, they had this like real vibe,
Yeah.
I always loved. My dad took me to early Super Bowl motocross, back in the days, and I was able to see it in the Coliseum. I was able to. I watched it there. I rode it there, and I commentated it there.
Really?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool, and I was able to commentate X Games there, and it's just a cool the roots of the whole thing. Like I can't tell you what year I went to the Super Bowl of motocross, but I was there as a kid, you know.
What was that event? It was just like
it was like the
one-off Supercross thing?
I guess so, when they first started. I mean, I'm in the sport, but I still don't know the truth of all of it and how it all came together.
Yeah.
But I know there was dirt bikes racing on the floor of the LA Coliseum, and that was a big deal.
What year was that, you reckon?
Well, that was in the early 70s.
Yeah,
we started
right.
going to that probably. So
Can
maybe
you type that in onto the... I want to find a picture of that.
I would guess that the first...
What was it called? The Super Bowl of Motocross.
Super Bowl of Motocross.
Super Bowl of Motocross.
I'm gonna guess the first one was probably around 74, if I had to guess, but that would predate my time, so to speak.
Yeah, right. I mean, I definitely remember seeing it. Motocross. Go to...
Oh,
78.
72, right there on top. Series of motocross races held in LA.
Starting in 1972. So. Click on the 19 set, that one, yeah.
So I was pretty close with 74.
Yeah.
But this 78 right here, I'll bet I was there.
Really?
My parents were into it. They brought us to it. My dad raced off-road cars, so it was like we went to the Mickey Thompson races, which was the cars and dirt bikes, and we did it all, man.
Dude,
so I think this is a flashback show that I believe.
Go towards the end.
Maybe Todd Huffman might build these. There, look at that.
Wow, dude. That's packed.
72.
Yeah.
I crashed right there.
Coming down the thing.
Going up. Yeah.
Bad?
I still have this giant hump in my shoulder.
So you did your AC?
Yeah, separate 3rd-degree separation of my shoulder. Look at these guys.
Dude, that's unreal.
Yeah, it's such an amazing time. These are the pioneers of our sport that really made it happen, you know. And then Jeremy comes in and he just
just took it to another level. Yeah.
I mean,
he just added like pop culture to it in a way.
So what McGrath started in 90 maybe?
Yeah.
In the 80, 89?
Yeah,
maybe?
I mean it was
by 91 he was riding for Mitch, right? In the Supercross.
Yeah.
On the peak bikes. So it would have been before that. 90, I think he was the champion of the Mickey Thompson Ultracross series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm making it up a little bit as I go. I never had a stat book or stat sheets. I just always pull.
Yeah.
So I try to be accurate. So.
But it was definitely in that
window.
Yeah. In that window, because he rode his 250 was like 92, 93, 94, 95, 96.
97, right?
Yeah, but then 97 was the shit Honda that he hated. And then I think 98. It's all too much.
It's all, yeah. What year did he have his own race? In
his own team?
No, he hosted a race.
Really?
In Carson in Los Angeles. Yeah, he did his own event.
Like his own Supercross?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yes, he did. Yes.
What would that have been called?
I have no idea.
To look for that. Jeremy McGrath Supercross.
Invitational, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember he got hurt in practice.
Oh.
And I don't think he rode the event.
No way.
But I was one of the commentating team, I think, for that. I'm not total. Again.
Yeah.
How many stadiums? How many places?
Dude, I don't blame you because I can't now. And I've got like 20 years. Yeah. You've got 20 extra years of dope shit stuck in your head.
Some good stuff up there. Good fun stuff. Amazing dirt biking.
File back.
Yeah, amazing dirt biking.
So you were riding the whole time?
I've ridden the whole time. So I never stopped riding, and I still ride to this day. I just rode 350 miles in Baja on a trip that we host called the Baja Beach Bash. The trip is an awareness builder for an orphanage and school in Baja called Rancho Santa Marta. Everybody should give ranchosantamarta.org.
We'll pull that up.
$5.
We'll pull that up.
But I've been riding the whole time. I just kind of changed what I ride. Like I didn't want to. There it is, 2006 McGrath Invitational.
Where was this at?
It's it's where the soccer teams play now. I think the Chargers play there actually in Carson, right? Don't they play there?
I actually have no idea.
X Games was here.
This is sick.
Yeah.
Oh, was this when they had the ramp?
Yes.
The metal ramp?
The big wide metal ramp.
I remember this, dude.
So 2006, that's 19 years ago. I can't believe it was that long ago.
Dude, this is unreal. I completely forgot this existed. You've just fully unlocked a memory.
I was thinking about different stuff that I had done, and I realized I did this. So
it definitely wasn't a huge crowd there. But that's fine.
Well, I'm not sure how it impacts it, right? There's the metal ramp right there.
Yeah.
I mean, how rad is that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's kind of a bummer that this just kind of can't happen these days. Like, there's no room in the schedule for this.
Oh, man, those guys race a lot of dirt bikes. I mean, whenever someone's like hurt or whatever and takes some time off, I'm all, well, take some time off.
Yeah.
You get some time, you know? Yeah. It's a lot. It's a big schedule, and I think that the promoters they're doing, trying to, keep the sport going, and I think it's it's crazy to watch how often they're racing dirt bikes, which is cool for us because, we log on and watch, wherever I'm at. We were driving home from Baja the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can't watch because I'm in Mexico. My buddy's all, oh, I'm on a VPN. I can watch.
Yeah.
So we watch it in the back seat of my truck. We're driving home from Mexico. So,
dude, I have the exact same feeling. It's like so hard to know what they have to go through to do all those races. But then as a fan, I just love watching it every single weekend.
Yeah, I always kind of think like, you hear guys that get hurt training and on the track and stuff. I'm like, dude, these guys, you're so good. You don't got to ride the track every week.
I agree.
Ride less.
Yeah.
Just go have fun and ride your dirt bike. So I've been riding the whole time. For a while there, I was like free rider guy, and that more transcended into Baja guy. Like around 2006, I started riding down there and hosting our Rip to Cabo. It was called Rip to the Tip. Now it's called Rip to Cabo. And it wasn't too long after that I decided that I didn't want to ride the motocross tracks anymore.
Yeah. I
realized that it's not just my mistakes, but everybody around me's mistakes that can cost you. So
yeah,
maybe it was later than that. Maybe it was 15 or whatever, but I just kind of decided, I'm kind of over the motocross tracks. I'll still ride them once in a while, like when I go to Supercross or something.
Yeah.
But I don't like load my bike up and go to the moto track anymore. My paradigms changed when I started riding destination rides.
Yep.
So in Baja we ride, hotel to hotel. It could be 100, it could be 300 miles a day. Then we have a trip in Colorado that we go to. That's my next ride.
When's that?
The Colorado 500. It's 49th annual. McGrath's actually Grand Marshal this year.
Oh, awesome.
That's in August.
Okay.
And so that's a big fundraising group. I had no idea. But I got involved. I've been to their ride 3 times, and so they give a ton of money back to trail preservation, to local scholarships, and good causes. So they're a 501c3 charity.
Yeah,
and it's rad. So there's people out there doing good stuff. But for me, I want to ride destination rides. I want to ride all day. I want to ride the hard stuff.
Yeah,
and I want to challenge myself. But I don't really have the eyes to be out on the track with 100 other people, on a practice day or whatever.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's it gets harder. It gets harder to be fit enough to enjoy it too. At times.
Staying fit is not easy, especially the older you get. You got to really think about it. I've been training with my buddy Rye, trying to do 3 days a week. This morning I'm like, today's not a good day because I gotta QC our television show we have coming up, Trail Emissions. Airs on August 10th on ESPN, so I got to get the show finished with our editing team.
Yeah.
So I just I'm going to do that before the kids wake up, because there's before kids wake up, then there's the kids' day, and then it's after kids go to sleep.
Yeah.
But the problem now is that I go to sleep before the kids. So I'm like, oh no. So
now it's just the morning.
It's like 4 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. That's my window to really get stuff done.
No way.
Yeah. So
how old are the kids?
13 and 5. I started a little later.
Okay. How old were you when you had kids?
44, I think, for the first one.
Yeah.
And then I was 52 for the second one.
Yeah.
51 or 52. Yeah. So
it's
what a ride. So awesome. We had a miscarriage, early in our relationship, and I think it maybe put us on our heels a little bit. Set you back
a bit. Yeah.
And then finally we were like, oh, you gotta do this. I think all of it kind of there's I can't say it's because of Jeff's passing, but I think definitely put a lot of things into perspective for me when Jeff died. And one of the things I realized was that, if we're going to have kids, we need to do it. And Jeff was like a son to us.
Yeah.
His parents had passed. and we had kind of taken him under our wing. We had a group of neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
You know Haggy, right?
Yeah,
He's like one of my neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
And so we kind of took these kids under our wing in different ways. You know, some of them needed a ride to go dirt biking, or one of them needed goggles, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But Jeff had lost both his parents. And so it was a really deep relationship we had traveling around doing stuff. And when he passed, it was terrible. Still is, although it's been since 2011.
Yeah.
But that was kind of maybe one of the catalysts where like we needed to focus and figure out what life's going to look like from here on, you know, next.
Yeah. It's I think the kids thing's not easy. You know, it's it's definitely not. It's not even easy to have kids at times too. You know, like I think people find it easier, harder, like timing to feel ready to do it.
Yeah, I used to think that people that had a lot of kids, they were crazy. But now that I have a couple kids, I'm like, damn, if I would have started when I was 25, I'd probably have 7 of them myself.
Yeah, really?
They're a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they're a pain in the ass, but they are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, what a amazing opportunity to be someone's parent.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't take that lightly. It's the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
And it will be till I'm gone.
Yeah.
And everything else is superficial.
Yeah, okay. It's cool. I mean, I don't have kids yet. Like we're working on it.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially you get older. Like we got lucky, you know, as older parents.
Yeah.
And we talked to a lot of friends. It's really tough to do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know anything about your situation.
No, I mean, I'm a bit younger, but yeah, it's just like with life, like we're moving around so much, and like, dude, just to get into a position where you like actually feel like you could be responsible for a child.
That's one of the things that I realize as a guy that hosts dirt bike trips. So we host 3 or 4 dirt bike trips a year. We're not a tour company. Not everybody can come.
Yeah.
It's by either invitation or somebody.
Yeah.
Type thing. So you can't just jump in. But anyway, by doing those trips and talking to so many people, you hear a lot of the same things all the time. It's not a good time right now.
Yeah.
It's not a good time right now. Well,
it's never going
to be a good time.
Yeah.
It's never going to be a good time. And so I realized that about the kids too. We waited and waited and waited thinking there was going to be a better time, but it's like, shit, you just kind of got to do it and go for it. And, you know, was it a good time last week to go dirt biking in Baja? Probably not. I had a lot of other things I needed to do, but I switched them off and I went and I rode my dirt bike, and it was glorious. And I came home super recharged.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I think people got to realize too, is that if I had one message from all the things I've done in my life, I would say get out and do the things you want to do and get that recharge and bring home. I call it sharing the stoke. That's our tag for our Baja HQ. We have an off-road aftermarket store.
Yeah.
And the license plate ring says sharing the stoke. And for me, getting that stoke back, you know, getting that infusion of stoke and happiness and fun. And I try to give that message to everybody that comes on our trips. The last meeting we have, I tell them, take this vibe you just picked up or the feeling you have right now and take this home to your job, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, your kids, and just let them see that you came back stoked. Because that's what it's about, getting out and doing it. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be able to, my lifestyle is my job. I race off-road trucks. I host adventure trips and make TV shows. I mean, I got the life. It's a lot of flim-flamming and a lot of work behind the scenes. And when you want to be just with your kids and you're on the social media or whatever, it's a lot. But I'm out doing it. And that's the thing I would suggest to people is just, even if it's just a walk around the block, go get that walk around the block. If you want to check the surf and you're like, oh, my wetsuit's wet, go. Just go check it out. Touch the water. You know, I mean, just get out and do it. And that's what I tell people on the trips. You know, it's never going to be a good time. You know,
dude, I honestly completely agree. I just had a friend move to San Clemente. He was like living in Idaho. Kids are wrapped up in fucking snow gear for half the year, and he's, you know, young kids, and it's not enjoying it. Doesn't have friends there, and I'm just like, fucking move. Move.
Do it.
Done.
Do it.
Go enjoy your life. It's never going to be a good time to move. It's never going to be the right. Like it's going to be more expensive. Who cares?
I owe my taxes. I got to do this. I can't buy a house.
Do it.
Go.
And he's moved here, and it's been like 2 weeks, and he's just fully frothing.
Well, we live in this little I always tell my kids, we live in everybody else's
holiday
vacation.
Yeah.
We live in vacation because our tagline for San Clemente is the greatest climate in the world. And I swear I've been all over the world, and there's beautiful places. Like I think that San Clemente and a lot of Australia have a lot of kinship.
That's why we live there.
Yeah. It's so beautiful both, right? But we have I could wear shorts every day of the year, pretty much, right? It's not going to ever get really cold. I mean, it might get in the high 50s or whatever, but for the most part, it doesn't rain much. We don't get big weather, and we don't get any of these giant storms. And it's so perfect. We have the surf, we got the mountains.
Yeah.
We got it all. But we do have high taxes. And, there's a lot of other negatives, I guess, for living in California. But it's hard to beat the opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree on that. And I've got friends, and this friend's like, he's a fucking grinder, bro. Like, he just works so hard. Same deal, got a couple of kids, provides for his family. Like, he's a man that takes care of his shit,
Yeah.
But he's like, his back's sore and this. And I'm like, get on the foam roller. Take 10 minutes. Like, you have to take time.
You have to take the time.
You have to go for a ride. Like, I'll fuck up my life to get a ride in. And, I'll run around like a headless chook for a day and a half to just get my ride in for the week, or to make sure I'm training, or, because it makes such a difference. And I would say, like, instead of sharing the stoke, my version would be like, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And it sounds so hallmark and so cliche. That's good. But it's just like,
you should make a shirt.
Yeah, you just got to fill up your cup.
Yeah. Well, I think that the people got to realize, right, whenever you went and did it, maybe you bummed out your wife, or maybe you left something hanging at work, but it was still there.
Yeah. Yeah, everything was still there when you get back.
Yeah. So, I mean,
because that's why he was like moving all of the house and stuff, and he's like, I said, come for a ride. He's like, oh man, the house is I'm like, it will still be messy as fuck when you get there.
For sure.
With all the same shit to do.
My garage is still a mess.
Yeah, you'll just be way happier when you get back to deal with it,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I'm with you as well on the destination rides. I still like to go to the track. I'm still not
I'm not bagging the track either.
No,
I'm just
I
saying,
get it.
Not my jam.
I get it. I feel like I'm on the trajectory of going there less. I love adventure riding. I love dual sport. Like, we do some like the destination, exactly what you're doing in Baja, like we do a bunch of that in Australia. That's just
I just did it in Australia.
Where'd you go?
I went to your neighborhood.
Where'd you go?
Right? You're from Cape York?
Yeah. Did you do it?
I did, yeah.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah, with the Kuda family. With,
Ray Kunta.
Roy.
Yeah, Roy Kunta. Yeah.
Is it Kunta?
Yeah.
Yeah, what great people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh, it's freaking amazing. Cape York Motorcycle Adventures.
Yeah.
Right? That's their company?
Yeah.
Man, it was great. We flew.
That's awesome you did that.
Yeah, we've traveled. We've been to a number of international destinations. We had, I think, 14 riders that went. And my biggest takeaway is it's so beautiful, like San Clemente, right, by the water, but you can't walk by the water because the Crocs. Yeah, so you got to stay away. So, like, the first day, we're in the south part of, or just north of Cairns.
Yeah. So I was born in Cairns.
Okay, cool. So we had our big wrap-up dinner party downtown in Cairns.
Yeah.
And we're just north Kauara.
Kauara Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're walking the beach, and people had told us, hey, you got to stay away from the water because the Crocs. And we're like, whatever, There's some locals walking on the beach. We just got there, like we flew overnight, so it's like daybreak, and we're like, bleh. And so I see a guy walking his dog, and I'm like, he's kind of close to the water, but not right there. I'm like, hey, how serious are the crocodiles? And he's like, hey, well, they take dogs and right off the beach here. He's like, there were swimming nets here for the Crocs because it was summer. Now it's going into fall, and like they took it all back. I'm like, holy cow. So that was my biggest takeaway is I got all the way to the top of the Cape. It's amazing. I can't remember the little town that has a little runway airport there. They have a pier people fish off of, but it's pristine.
Maybe Cooktown?
No. No.
How high? How far
way
up was
up there, the very top. I mean, we're like
Bamaga.
Bamaga. That's the name of it. Yeah. So that's only about maybe
fuck all
9 minutes from the end on the dirt bike.
Yeah.
Which we rode all
how
around
fun did you camp at Punsand Bay?
Yeah.
Bro, when you turn off from Bamaga to Punsand Bay, you've basically just got the one road in, and it's just like the big trees either side.
Not far after you cross the river, right?
Yeah,
you take the barge across.
The Jardine River.
Yeah.
So get off the Jardine. We stop and get fuel in Bamaga.
Yeah.
Instead of driving like all the way into Bamaga, and then you just turn off right, dual track road, dude. That to me is living.
Yeah.
Like that road, because I know exactly where I am and I know exactly how many minutes it is until I have a beer around my lips and just ride 2 up with the boys the whole way down that road, dude.
My favorite part of the trip was the Telegraph Highway. I don't know if you've been on that.
Yeah.
But man, as a good adventure.
Incredible.
We stayed in the campground right at the beginning of it where the sign is, and then we rode that for one whole day.
Yeah.
The two kind of funny things, like they're all don't swim anywhere. Stay away from the water. Like, and one of the guys walked across the river. Get out of there, And then we show up to this one spot, and there's all these signs that say, no swimming, crocodiles. They're like, okay, this is where we're gonna swim. We're like, for real, And then that same night, we're swimming in a river, and they're like, oh, this one's okay.
That would have been Fruitbat Falls, probably.
It's a little falls, like maybe 6 feet high.
Yeah.
We jumped off of it in our gear. We were all floating in our gear and stuff. And
yeah,
it's cool. We rode up on the dirt bikes, and there's all these people you got to walk down there, and they're like, oh, what are these guys doing? But I'm sure there's plenty of tour companies that show up over there. But yeah, these guys did a great job. So Renee is the mom and the wife, and she hosts. Yeah. She sets it up, and she's freaking awesome.
My dad goes way back with Roy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. King of the Cape.
Yeah. So I was born in Cairns. My family moved to Cairns in like 1860 or something.
And what's the size now of Cairns?
Actually, can you look up on just Google the population of Cairns? I don't know. I reckon like 100,000.
Yeah, I would say
maybe.
It's probably not too unsimilar from the greater San Clemente area.
Yeah, it's just spread out.
It's got more downtown vibe though.
Yeah,
it's got more real buildings, which we don't have. But yeah, I was impressed. I did a helicopter tour above the river there.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
In Cairns or up the Cape?
We did it in Cairns.
Yeah,
and flew right to the big river right behind where the dam is and stuff. And
yeah.
I think someone was talking about doing wingsuiting through there or something. I don't remember. There's lots of talks. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time. And your hometown is beautiful. Everybody's super friendly.
Yeah.
I've been to Australia maybe 6 times now.
Yeah, you would have been a few times.
Yeah, and this time with the family was really good. We spent 3 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. What? Yeah,
wow,
178. Yeah. But it's like very spread out. Like I was actually only just telling Ethan yesterday, like we have the Great Dividing Range. So you go like, depends on where you're at, but you can go 20 miles and you just hit the mountains.
Yeah.
And then once you go on the other side of the mountains, it's just desert. And
yeah.
so like all the weather gets stuck there. So you just have this huge mountain range, a lot of weather, a lot of rain. Yeah, it's like the oldest rainforest in the world through the Daintree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we rode the Daintree.
Yeah, you would have done the Crab Track.
Yeah, so we went right out of north out of Cairns.
Yeah.
At the edge, and there's a highway that goes up into the mountain.
Yeah, Coranda Range.
We rode right up into there and turned right
on Black Mountain Road.
Yeah, to the left is like the Daintree preserve or somewhere right there. My wife went up there the same day with the kids.
Yeah.
We rode through there, and I swear you're in the rainforest, maybe only for like 15K.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're in the desert. You're like, whoa, hey.
This happened quick.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be staying the first night like in forest like that.
Do you remember where you stayed the first night?
It was in a campground.
Was it Lions Den Hotel?
No hotels. We camped every night.
Okay.
Yeah, we camped every night. It was a campground. Had a beautiful sunrise, I can tell you that.
Mm.
But yeah, we camped it, and we rode from like maybe 10:30 in the morning until like an hour before dark.
Yeah.
So we got some got some
big
K's
days in.
in.
Yeah, clocking K's.
Yeah, that was fun. We had a great time. I've suggested it to a number of friends to go visit.
Yeah.
Roy and Renee, and cool cool town, cool vibe, and everybody was very friendly. And there's not a lot once you get above Cairns.
No, that's it.
We're out there riding, and
it's over.
What do they call them? The farms that we stopped at to get they have services like some food and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a name for them.
Like stations.
Stations. Yeah. We'd stop at the stations.
Yeah.
And get meat pies and food and
So so I was born there. My family's been there since the late 1800s, bro. Yeah. And we're, 6th generation. It's fucking crazy.
Wow.
All the cane fields, it's crazy. My family should be rich, but they one of my great granddads died. No one wanted to work the farm, so they just got rid of all the farmland crazy cheap, and then the rest of the family grew up in the ghetto. But we were just there forever. Our family's been there a super long time, and that Cape, that's all we did as kids. So that's our Baja, essentially, right?
I mean, it's a peninsula. It's not quite as pointed and straight, but it's definitely a peninsula. And that was one of the things that we identified when we were looking at places to go. And true story, I had started texting or emailing Renee 9 years ago.
No way.
Yeah. So we had originally wanted Australia to be one of our first international trips. We've been, to Costa Rica a couple of times. We've been to Portugal. We've been to Greece, a couple other places. And so we try to do an international trip every year or two with a group. Yeah. So I was stoked to finally put it together and get there and go and ride. Their bikes were wonderful.
What'd you ride? KTMs?
Gas.
Okay.
Yeah, we rode gas.
450?
No, 350s.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I've done it on a gas 350.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing it again in August.
I guess the time we went is kind of going into fall towards winter, so it starts the season. Yeah. So we were kind of in the early part of the season, but there's so much, vans and the water receded enough so that Telegraph Road. Yeah. There's places where the water's 30 feet deep. Yeah. And unpassable. Yeah. And
the wet season.
You can't get up there. Do anything up there. There's there's
and that's
roads.
why the Crocs are everywhere.
Because got it.
It just floods. Everything's a floodplain.
Yeah.
So it's a wild place up there, dude.
It for sure is. And after all the hype of all the things that can kill you, the bird, the crocs, the sharks, the snakes, the spiders, all of it, we didn't see much of it live when we were there. We saw some spiders.
Did you see some crocs?
We went to a croc farm.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
Right. So it's
in
Cairns. And then north of that.
Port Douglas.
Yes. So just above
Hartley's Creek.
That's where we went. Yeah. So we definitely saw crocs. They feed them off the side of the boat.
And man, I could have taken you to some spots. Guaranteed to see a crocodile.
Yeah.
We had these places where we went as kids, and just because we knew there were crocs there. Yeah. You'd go there and certain times of the day, as soon as you'd know when the tide was, and there would be this bank is for this croc. Yeah. Some big dogs just out there on you could set your watch by the dude.
Every town and beach has a croc that regulates, the tough guy of town. Yeah. And they have a name for him. Yeah. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so my phone, my social algorithm was on Australia. Yeah. So not long after I came home, sadly, someone was killed by a croc walking with their family. Yeah. And they fell in and...
It happens all the time. So I was saying, Dad was in that group, and there was a lot of cops. My whole childhood, every summer holiday, every time I was on school holidays, dude, I literally got put in a fucking postage plane, the Australia Post plane, and flown up to one of the stations because my either Dad's friends or uncles were working on these stations as cops.
Yeah, so
there'd only be 2 or 3 cops at a time. Yeah. That have this big old Queenslander house. There'd be a little jail, 2 jail cells, some gun safes, and a desk. And I would just live at these police stations my whole childhood, my whole way through school. Cool. Yeah, so that's where I went up. I rode dirt bikes and went fishing, drove the cars, the boats, the whole. Just had the craziest childhood.
It's the adventure land.
Because it
really is.
We could do whatever the fuck we wanted because we were staying with the police. And the best part as well is all the Aboriginal kids would just become the homies.
Yeah.
And so they were fucking wild, dude. Like, right, massive pigs that they would have pets, and there'd be like 5 of us doing backyard races on like these huge wild pigs and stuff. Like, it was
crazy.
Such a cool way to go.
Yeah, it was a good trip. I really enjoyed it. We started our pilgrimage of Australia talk about trying to ride across Australia.
That's a big lift.
That's a big lift.
That's a
huge bite.
Yeah.
So no one we ever talked to said you could do it in less than a month, and you got to have all this different support and go around.
Yeah.
All these things. It got really complicated, but this was a great adventure. I mean, we were out in the bush for 6 days of riding. It was great. 1,200 kilometers.
Just living.
Yeah.
Did you stay in a swag?
What is that?
You sleep in a swag?
We slept in these little tents, like an individual, what do you call, cot tents.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We sleep in these thing called swags. Did you see anyone? It's like a big canvas sleeping bag.
Yes.
Rolls up into a circle.
Yeah.
Like a Cinnabon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just stay in them, and I mean, I love no cell service. You've just got the same swag that you just roll out.
Yeah. We screwed
make a
that
fire
up.
every
We
day.
brought a Starlink with us.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of smart.
No, we had comms the whole time, or when we were camping. So we'd set the Starlink out on one of the rigs, and then we'd have comms with the families, you know, because everybody's away from home and work and all that stuff. Back to that, it's never a good time to leave.
Yeah, that's true.
The wives and kids, and they like to know when check in at the end of the day to make sure everybody's, you know, good.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I do love the trips though when you can really
just disconnect.
But it's probably a bit different in your life at the minute.
Yeah, well, we'll still do camp nights on Rip to Cabo, and the Starlink will go out, and everybody will be like, oh, and then all of a sudden it's campfire time.
Yeah. No, it's cool though, man. I just to be out there, the stars, the weather, just the remote like isolation. I went to watch Berriman train for X Games, and he trains out of that Chocolate Mountain Ranch down in kind of near San Diego.
Not sure.
It's like a little bit. It's kind of where everyone bases their truck stuff. Like when Maddie and Paul and Toby, they kind of stay out that way, like when they're doing the truck stuff before Baja. But anyway, and I went out there and watched him, and it's probably been like a year where I'd been in like any real wide open spaces. Like I'd just been kind of like by the beach,
right,
in the rat race on the freeway. And I went out to watch him, and I stood out. They've got like this big observation deck looking over this big cattle property. I'm just like,
that's like home.
Like, fuck, I actually, like, it was the first time in my life I ever felt like, oh, I need this, and I don't get it. I hadn't got it for a year, and I just think it's growing up in that way, just with so much open space.
As an off-road racer, I get that
all the time.
We're stopped in the middle of nowhere and just like nothing, just so empty and vast and so beautiful. It's amazing to have that solitude.
Yeah,
Baja offers a lot of that. The Mojave here in the States also. I mean, there's a lot of great solitude out there.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Brunt Workwear, and I have got the brand new Marin boot here to show you guys right now. Over the last couple of years, I just wanted to get rid of doing the sneaker thing. They're not waterproof. They got super dirty, and I would end up with track shoes. I wanted to be able to rock some boots. I just made a lot more sense to wear boots. So I've switched to wearing boots, and now I've switched to wearing these Brunt boots. There's a super short break-in period, and they're lightweight, they're waterproof, they're slip and oil resistant, they're heat resistant, and they're electrical hazard rated. A lot of you guys that listen to this podcast, you're on job sites, you run a machinery, and you actually really need and test all of these features every single day. So now you can finally have durable work boots that are as comfortable out of the box as your sneakers, and over 500,000 customers agree. Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot, they've reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. For a limited time only, our listeners get $10 off a Brunt by using the code GYPSYGANG at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use the code GYPSYGANG and you are all set. And even better, Brunt will let you try this work boot risk-free on the job site. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them, so please support our show by telling them that the Gypsy Gang sent you. I would love to do more Baja stuff.
You should come with us.
Dude, I need to do the Rip to Cabo.
Let's go.
When do you do it? Like, when's the...
It's been moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
This year will be in October.
Yeah.
That we're going to go. It's the 20th anniversary, so it's kind of locked down on the regulars.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's going to be, I think it's been going for 8 days usually, and now we're talking about a 10-day trip, a little bit more miles, a little bit more reflection, a day off in the middle.
Yeah.
Stuff we haven't done a ton of.
Yeah.
Open it up a little bit, but still same arrival at the office and keep the traditions going.
So how did it start?
We were out on a kind of destination day ride at Ocotillo Wells.
Yeah.
And someone, whether it was Moss or someone else, said, hey,
Mark Moss?
Mark Moss, yeah. He's one of my buddies. He's been on Rip to the Tip, Rip to Cabo, partnering with me, helping it go since 2006.
Right.
We were next door neighbors.
Okay. So I've only heard of him through Hagee.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm just connecting dots,
Yeah. He's big time now.
Dude, right?
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. But so anyway, one of them was like, hey, I used to host big rides around Ocotillo Wells and like tough trails like that. We'd have a snake train of like 50 dirt bikes. Instead of going jumping, we'd go on a trail ride.
Yeah.
And so I would make it progressively harder and harder and harder. So we just people would drop off the trail because they couldn't continue it, and got down to, like 10 or 12 people, whatever. And someone's like, hey, could we do this in Baja? Could you take us for a ride in Baja? And I hadn't really thought about it, but I had been on a trip with a guy named Chris Stewart, and it was fun. And I knew the peninsula because I'd been racing it my whole life, and I had support vehicles, and I'm like, let's do it. Like, this is in February, and in April the Rip to the Tip started, and so we started doing an annual trip. And it's moved around. It's been April, it's been May, it's been October. It's kind of moved around a little bit, but it's a big part of our lives. And it started just out of like being out riding and someone saying, hey, can we do more? Can we do more of this in Baja?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. So over the years we've met, lots of local people, found lots of cow trails, ridden lots of routes that other people have created. And it's just a fabulous, mystical place. Beautiful people, beautiful vistas, just wonderful hospitality. It's an amazing throwback in time.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how much has it changed in those 20 years?
Not much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a little bit more cell service now.
Okay.
And but the towns are all still pretty much the same. Nothing really has gotten much bigger. I mean, I think like Tijuana, Ensenada, Los Cabos has popped a ton. The Cabo, San Lucas, San Jose del Cabo area has gotten much bigger. But the middle part of the peninsula is very similar. Hasn't changed much in 20 years. Yeah, I still see those same people and same families.
Really?
Talk to same people in the fish camps and stuff like that. I think there's a little bit in some places, like the ranchos have kind of dwindled away in the middle of nowhere. But there's still people out there in the middle of nowhere making a living.
What are they doing? Mostly like cattle farming?
Yeah,
and
lots of cattle.
Yeah.
Out there, and there are some farming and stuff, but that's mostly on both ends.
Yeah.
Once you get down by Constitution, like 3/4 of the way down, then there's a lot of farming, and in the north there's a ton of farming. In the middle I call it the never never. There's nothing there. It's very tiny towns, very few people, and you're never going to see anybody. That's kind of the crux of the never, never.
Yeah, yeah. That's wild that place still exists, like kind of right there.
It's crazy. It's just a 2-hour drive, right? I mean, in 4 hours, we're on a hop-off spot where we can ride desolate coastline. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, look at the coastline in California. And now, granted, Northern California is different.
Yeah.
But down here, like, you can't even imagine riding next to the coast unless you're mind surfing Camp Pendleton, which you can't go out on.
Yeah.
But down there's tons of space.
It's just like that.
There's 2-track roads right along the coast. You can ride right on the bluffs, and there's as many miles as you want of it.
Does it do you ever think about Mexico on the whole? Because it's kind of crazy. It's crazy to me being a foreigner and seeing Mexico, because Australia doesn't have any neighbors, right? Like we're literally on an island.
Mm-hmm.
So we have New Zealand, but it's just a completely different country. You got to fly over an ocean to get there. Whereas you guys like share a border with this country that is so incredibly different.
Yeah.
And it's like you got San Diego, 15 minutes, you're in Tijuana. Couldn't be more different places. And so many people want to come here from Mexico. And it just seems crazy to me that we haven't figured it out to where Mexico is like a super prosperous country, you know?
Well, I think that Baja is a little bit different than most of mainland Mexico with its grown-up businesses and economy. I don't think that Mexico spends a lot of time thinking about Baja. And Baja just kind of has its own vibe. It's really different.
So it's like a very separate entity.
It's divided by water, right? I mean, they don't really share connectivity.
Yeah.
But it is still governed by Mexico. But it's got a lot of influence from the States and from mainland. But it's just a different place. And I don't, for me, I've always said we're all kind of one group of people in this area, right? When I was a kid, there wasn't like all the fences and all the stuff, like we just drove in, went to Tijuana, came back.
Did you even have to show passports and stuff
No,
back then? Really?
They asked you if you were a U.S. citizen. And I'm not sure if they asked if people were Mexican citizens. I'm not sure how that went, but for me, I grew up in this similar type of culture, so it feels like we're all kind of one. And you said people are trying to come into the States, which they are, but most of the people that we know and interact with and hang out with in Baja, they live in Baja, and they don't seem to have that interest in coming north. It's a different vibe. It's a beautiful place, and the people, they love their country and their state. It's 2 states. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of people that live there very passionate about it. And I don't think they really think about coming to the States. They come on vacation to the States, some of them that we know. Yeah. But I think it's just it's kind of a big mesh of all these people here in this like giant Tijuana, Ensenada, Mexicali, San Diego, Los Angeles. It all kind of feels like one giant place. Yeah. 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 It's just it's a trip to me that you can be so close, and there is just like really clear. It is a different country. Yeah. Right. And it's wild to me that one is like so corrupt and poor on the whole. And there's just like all these problems that are there, and I'm just like, fuck, we're right there. Like, surely this could be. I'm not sure where the corrupt part is like everywhere. I was gonna say everywhere's kind of, but like it's openly basically run by a drug cartel, and it just seems like we don't see any of that. Not Baja, but more like just Mexico in general. It's just like I feel like if the US wanted to get rid of that, it probably could, and it would just be like, I don't know, it could just fix so much of the Mexico problem. I'm pretty happy that the U.S. doesn't have Baja. Yeah, it doesn't have too much influence. Yeah, it's a wonderful place, and I think that the delineation of the border I understand, but for us, it's it's kind of like our second home. Yeah, and a bit of a sanctuary. Yeah. It's just nice that it hasn't changed that much. Yeah, it's like it's almost like I was saying, this pocket between northern Los Angeles and southern Tijuana and Ensenada, on both ends and to the outskirts in all 3 directions where there's no ocean. It's all very vast. Yeah. Whether you're in the Mojave Desert or you're up towards San Ynez, Santa Barbara, it starts to get desolate in there. Below San Quintin and El Rosario. So it's kind of interesting, this huge pocket. Yeah. And I think it goes back to, we live in everybody's vacation. The weather is just perfect in all these places, and that's why so many people have come to these locations. Is the climate pretty similar? Same. It just feels like this. It looks the same, feels the same. Basically, yeah. Fuck, that's the dream, dude. A little bit different infrastructure, obviously. The roads look different, and they don't have quite as much impact from their government with all the infrastructure, but it's very similar. The coast all looks the same. It's California. The coastal parts where you can see where there's no people, it's California 100 years ago. Fuck.
That's wild.
And it's wide open.
That's right there.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and you can ride down to the beach and, you know, park on a bluff, and there's families camping and families making, you know, food. They're down on the beach hanging out and having fun. Most all of them that we've experienced love that off-road culture because their families have all grown up with it.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have as much of the sporting events there in Baja, but they have the Baja 1000 has gone through there since 67.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of off-road culture. Lots and lots of families race there, and lots of families are into it. Like you stop somewhere, and they come out and they want to talk to you and talk about racing.
Like, do you get recognized as Cameron Steele through the Baja? That's wild, dude.
Yeah, even more so than in the States. Like, it's way, like, the passion for off-road motorsports in Baja is gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is the Baja growing, do you think?
In population or in...
Like the Baja 1000 or like the racing? Like, is it getting bigger?
It ebbs and flows with the economy. I think it's pretty big. There's a lot of people that are involved. It's not where it was Dust to Glory came out maybe in 2004 or 5.
Yeah.
And the economy was really strong, 6, 7.
Yeah, before 2008.
Yeah, and I think that we would have entries over 400 vehicles entered, maybe close to 500. Now we're more like high 200s, 300s. But it's just, it comes and goes. The classes are strong. There's a lot of people, manufacturers involved using it as a proving ground, a testing ground. It's really one of the true unlimited racing sports there is. I mean, in trophy truck, the class we race in, there's different classes now. There's 2-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, but there's no rules. They don't like look at your motor, your computer. You can have a front motor, mid motor, back motor. You can do any concept you want. If you can spend the money to make it, have at it. All they care about is the safety stuff. That's all they inspect us on. So there's no rules. The other classes have rules. But like if you talk about NASCAR or other racing series, they have rules like certain diameters of how much airflow you can get or how much fuel you can get or whatever it is. This is like, hey,
open book.
If you can figure something out that's a better widget than the last guy, go for it.
How much have the trucks improved since you've been racing?
Quite a bit. I mean, in truth, the truck I'm racing has been through some iterations and some changes. Our engineer at FIDAC has come up with a lot of great ideas, but this truck's been around for 12 years. So it's the truck we won the Baja 1000 with in 2018 was actually newer than the truck we're racing. But newest trucks, like there's new all-wheel drive concepts.
Like the Geysers and stuff like
that. We race a Geyser Brother truck.
Yeah.
So we've won the last 2 2-wheel drive races.
Yeah.
The all-wheel drives have been dominated by a company called Mason Motorsports.
Masons, yeah.
And they create tons of beautiful, interesting stuff. Their own transmissions and gears. And we actually have a gear set in the rear of our truck from Mason.
Yeah, okay.
So they're really on the cutting edge right now, the all-wheel drive technology. And
so the Geysers stayed more 2-wheel?
They do have all-wheel drives also.
Yeah.
But the Mason is kind of the one that's got the corner on the market right now.
Yeah.
Geysers building some, Racers building some. You know, there's other companies building them, but right now Mason's the one. Like there's, of the 12 top teams in all-wheel drive, probably 11 of them are in Mason trucks.
That's crazy.
More or less, or 10.
And so how long's that company been around? That's just been a company that's just been around forever making trucks?
I think Mason Motorsports has probably been around just over a decade.
Okay.
Geysers have been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
I still own the original Geyser trophy truck.
Really?
So it started life as a truggy. So it was a truck without a body. And then that was their first truck they built in 99. And we still have it. We use it as our pre-run truck, and we race it in the spec class, which is basically unlimited trophy truck with a 530 horsepower engine. So called spec.
Yeah, okay.
We still have their truck. I love the Geyser truck. It's easy to drive.
Yeah.
Easy to drive. It does what you ask it to do. Sometimes I think the truck is smarter than I am. Well, the truck's definitely smarter than I am. It has way more sensors and lots of computer stuff on it nowadays. It was different. You know, just 8 years ago, back to your commentary, I was like really fighting over going to all the electronics. I was still running carburetors.
No way.
Yeah, finally my partner, Josh Daniels, like, dude, I'm buying all the electronics for this truck. We're done with this. He owns a company called Danzio. They build motors. And we
Was
got
it all like
into
the
that.
Motec stuff?
Yeah, it's all like his life racing.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that stuff. And so that kind of got us into the more recent times. And then my engineer from FIDAC, he's got an eye for all that stuff. So right now, actually, our truck is getting rewired by James Lynn Motorsports, and it has all the newest, craziest bells and whistles. We were adding and adding and adding to it, and it finally got to the point where we were like the whole truck wasn't talking to itself well enough.
It was like all compartmentalized.
Yeah, so it has like it's got to run in a loop of telling it what to do. So it was time to strip it all and go for it. So all new wiring harness all through the truck. So that's a crazy commitment to rip the truck all the way down to the frame and do that between two races, between the Baja 500 and Baja 400.
So you guys just won the 500, didn't you?
In the two-wheel drive class, yeah. We were 4th overall, so there were 3 all-wheel drives that beat us.
Okay. Is it pretty much impossible to compete with the all-wheel drive? Or
No.
so you can't beat those guys?
I think we can beat them. We haven't, to be fair, we haven't been putting in a big qualifying effort. So we've been qualifying like 12 to 16 range. And in San Felipe a couple years ago, we ran in the top 3 on time. And I realized that the first 60 miles of the race, I was fighting with guys that were going much slower, and we needed to qualify better. So just this last couple weeks, as we're making this change in the truck, we're putting qualifying settings into the electronics and gear set changes and some of the brain changes. It's a bigger step than just rewiring. There's a lot of different concepts and ideas going into the truck without giving up too much.
Yeah.
So now we're going to put a little bit more focus. Can we compete? Yes. But the very best in our sport are in all-wheel drives.
Yeah.
I would consider us one of those best 10 teams, but there are some incredibly talented drivers with incredibly good equipment and really great teams that we're battling against. So can we compete? Yes. We just finished 4th overall, but we were, 25 minutes out of the win. So
yeah.
We did not have a perfect day, and we had to fight our way through some of the pack. So if we would have qualified better, could we race better? Maybe.
Yeah.
But, they say, and I'm not calling anybody a beginner, but to use moto terms, if you go out on the beginner practice at the moto track, you're going to ride with and more like beginners because you're using the same lines.
Yeah.
If you go out and ride practice with the pros, you're going to ride their lines and see their speed, and it's going to, So if we're racing more to the front of the pack, so that's my fault. We haven't been qualifying that well because we haven't been putting enough effort into it.
Yeah.
But yes, I think we'll be more competitive as we step up our qualifying game a little bit.
It is just going to an all-wheel drive truck, just a whole nother thing.
It's a huge bite for sure. I mean, the truck that we're racing, it has all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't have the all-wheel drive. It doesn't have some of the componentry that goes along with it. So, I mean, you're now to buy one of those trucks, you're in excess of $1 million.
Yeah.
So to buy a new race truck is a pretty formidable situation. And for me, I don't have like a independent wealth, so to speak. I don't have like a big company to lean on or whatever. So I have to do it through sponsorships. And since 2004, we've been racing on sponsorships.
Yeah.
So the Monsters and the Yokohamas and the Race Lines and all the people that put the money into the program, the FIDACs, they are the lifeblood of us going racing. So to get to the races, it really costs more than we're bringing in. So we got to kind of figure out how we're going to do it and when we're going to do it. We'd like to race more races, but right now we're committed to racing the Score Baja Series, and it's hard to add other races because adding manpower and time and parts and changing your motor schedule.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought changing your motor schedule was going to make it so you can't go racing more races? But every motor rebuild is $35,000 or $40,000, and it costs time for the prep crew to take it in and out with another $12,000. So everything adds up. So you got to pick your battles. And for us right now, I was actually against the two-wheel drive class splitting off from the all-wheel drive class, but not just because we've won the first 2 races, but I think it's invigorated that two-wheel drive class. More people are coming into it.
Yeah, a bit of a lower barrier to entry.
It is a lower barrier, and there was already 150 trucks out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them may not have been racing because they didn't want to race against all the giant budgets. But now to come race in two-wheel drive, they race against less of those giant budgets and makes it more attainable in the truck they already have.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people are like, oh, you can't compete unless you have all-wheel drive. Well, now they're like, well, we can compete for the two-wheel drive. So I think it
makes sense, honestly.
It really does.
It's kind of like a 250 class.
I just didn't want to give up because I felt like we could race with all-wheel drives. And I still believe that. We've proven it a couple times over the last year, but we haven't won overall. So we haven't proven it. And maybe we won't. Those guys are still good, right? I have much respect. And I think back to what you were saying, that you've got to be able to accept your successes. I go to the races knowing that we can win. And I believe that. And it's not cocky, but it's being sure enough to go there and be there and compete on that stage. And as soon as we're not competitive, I won't be there racing anymore. And so I really believe, now I know we can win the two-wheel drive, which we've already proven. We would have, if they had split the classes 5 years ago, we'd have a ton of wins. But we're racing for that overall, and that's still our goal. We're still racing for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of those, you've just got a lot of like massive money. Like there wouldn't really be anyone making money racing trophy trucks, would there? I mean, Score's probably making money, but
yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say. I don't think so. There might be some teams that are profitable, but it's always like if you have an extra $100,000 in the budget, you could build a new chase truck, or you could buy a transmission and a new rear end, and you know, there's always something to spend the money on. So you got to kind of think about it. I don't feel like there's anybody making money that's racing trophy trucks.
Yeah.
But there are great sponsored teams that are flush from sponsors, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there's a difference there.
Yeah.
You know, you're not banking millions of dollars racing trophy trucks.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think it'll ever get to that point?
I think that the content, the way it's been going with live, can help it.
Yeah.
But I think it needs more polished media, more readily available media to get there. I think after watching it, but like you think about short course off-road, how good that is to watch. And like it still doesn't have as much of a giant viewership as other motorsports, even though you can watch it pretty easily. Not as easily as like a NASCAR or something like that. But I think the difference is that people grew up on those sports in the States. And I think that there's a connection to some of those motorsports that drive back to regular cars, where our cars don't really look like regular cars.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a tougher part of that too. But I think it comes back to content.
Yeah.
And being able to have people see what you're doing makes it more popular and easier to access. But nowadays, there's access everywhere.
Yeah.
It's almost just a flood, almost too much, right? So it would be good to have a couple really pointed, great media pieces that showcase our sport, like Dust to Glory did back in 2003 or 4, whenever it came out. It really pointed on certain stories. People could grab onto it. And that's why we had all that influx of racers coming in at that time, because they're like, hey, I want to do this. I saw this. I want to do it. Just like kind of the Crusty Demons thing did for us, made us want to ride.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just influenced by something we saw.
I think that the Baja trophy truck thing, it's got a very unique thing that a lot of motorsports don't have these days, which is just like some rich Yahoo that spends $2 million on a truck and $500,000 on a crew for the race, gets all these helicopters, gets all this, just goes all in. And to be that kind of guy, you've got to be a pretty unique character. And I feel like if you could document that properly, and if you could like really tell the stories of the top 5, 6, 10 trucks with these kind of wacky dudes, like fucking Paul Wheel literally had $1 billion company in Australia and it raced all these.
And turns out to be a pretty damn good race car
and
driver on top of everything, right?
Yeah, so he's got like this $1 billion radiator company. He's partnered with Toby Price, who's won 2 Dakars. You know, you've got your story. You've got, you know, like Bryce and their story and, you know, like Chris Pavorti.
Yeah, there's great
dad had,
teams.
You know, like a massive company and the kid's just crazy talent. Like that guy's so smart like Chris. He's such a smart young
dude.
He
is really sharp and a great race car driver. It's fun to race against. It's fun to race against all this talent that's in the talent pool right now.
Yeah.
And tell those stories. So there'd be great stories too, like from the lineage of the Baja Mexico side, the Vildosalos and the Ampudias, and how they've grown into being these giant race conglomerates. Just unbelievable talent, both winning the Baja 1000. So yeah, there's a lot of great stories. Getting more media is always, well, I shouldn't say more media is always a good thing, but more good media is always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And there just is unique storylines, and it is an unlimited series, and it's just guys with a ton of cash. Like even like Jesse Jones, like that
what
guy.
A great guy.
Just a crazy, unique character.
Yeah.
And just like has this ridiculously successful business and a passion for driving race trucks, and like
he started my race team's success in trophy truck. He sold me that first Geyser truck.
Really?
On credit.
No way.
On my own good word, yeah. I said, I want to buy that. How much? He's like, you just pay me within the next 2 years, we're good.
No way.
I'm in.
That doesn't surprise me, bro.
He's a good guy. And I did pay him.
That's unreal.
He's a really nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's like these, because in other sports, to be a race car driver, like in F1, MotoGP, Supercross to a certain extent, like the story's the same. You don't really do anything else your entire life except ride a bike, race a car. Mm-hmm. There's no external success, external storyline, because you've dedicated your entire life. You got homeschooled, you did Loretta's, you raced Supercross.
Yeah.
Whereas all of you guys that are racing the trophy truck thing,
we do other stuff.
Yeah, and to do it, you have to be successful. So it does create, like there is something there. I just don't think that it's, dust
you
and
should
glory.
Crack your media company and do it.
Maybe.
Get out there and get the funding and let's go.
Yeah, because it is cool. Like it's and you're just so remote. And some of the shit you guys have to go through to finish the 1000 is just it's insane.
Yeah, the thing I really think is a great story about off-road racing too is it's not just like you were saying, it's Toby, it's Paul, it's their navigators, it's their team. We're all out in this remote. No one's just at the pit wall, even though that's an adventure in itself, but it's like these tentacles of 100 people on your team it takes to race the peninsula run at the Baja 1000, and the stories and the places, the remoteness. It's pretty intense and pretty crazy what everybody's doing out there.
Yeah, and like you think of, I think the whole Drive to Survive thing is pretty played out at this point if you plugged it into, any other sport. But I honestly think the Baja thing, it could work because it's pretty deep, like you said. Multiple chase trucks. Like Chris was telling me that he has his own doctor that flies in the helicopter because there's no medical help out there.
No.
So it's like you have a doctor, the doctor briefs him saying like, you're aware you could die, like doing this medical briefing. It's like, fuck, this is no joke with what these gentlemen are trying to do.
It's pretty crazy for sure. There's, like I said, in the Never Never, there's no one. So you're out there on your own. And that's one thing I think that is why we have so much camaraderie in our sport. Like I race against Toby and Paul, and I race against the Ampudias, I race against Bryce or whatever, but we're all friendly and friends because if it goes sideways, the only people that are coming to save you are your fellow racers that are coming down the track behind you, right? So if you need help's in your competition's truck. We've stopped a number of times over the years to make sure people are okay in crashes and stuff like that and help, and you got to be able to count on each other. So there's a little bit of a different vibe. Buddy Rice, who won the Indy 500, he came and raced the Baja 1000 with us, and I think he won the Indy 500 in 05, and then he came and raced with us in 05, maybe 06. But the first thing happened, we came down to go pre-running. We're going to see the race course for a week or whatever, and we pulled in right next to other teams and camped at their compound. He's like, oh, you're hanging out with the guys you're racing against. I'm like, yeah. They're the only guys that are going to be out there with us. He's like, I get it.
Yeah.
He's like, I get it.
Yeah. And you're going through this incredibly hard thing that I don't think you could relate to. Like, you couldn't transmit the experience to somebody who hasn't done it?
It's tough. If you haven't been out there and done it, it's really tough to explain, especially being in a trophy truck. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to do that. I want to drive. Even guys that we know that have been around the teams, I want to drive. Then you get them in the truck in the passenger seat, and they're like, oh, I'm good. You drive, and I'll get out the next opportunity. Because it's pretty full on. I mean, it's the risk is amazing, but also the ride is amazing. What you're able to go through and at what pace you're able to do it is pretty stunning. I mean, it's you can't tell people about it. They got to go. So you have to come ride in it. I don't know. Have you been in one yet?
I was in with Toby one
in
a Geyser truck in Australia back in the day.
Yeah, so you got a vibe,
dude.
The 1,000 horsepower comes to life. And,
what? Jesus.
Yeah.
Just the speed that you can hit those whoops with is pretty ridiculous.
That's usually the thing that you're hauling ass, and all of a sudden
it's like being holes, in a boat, right?
Big holes, and all of a sudden people you can see them push back in the seat, and their arms come up, and you're just like, they're like, that doesn't compute.
It's like when you're in a boat and you're like, and then you get your speed up and you get up on the plane, you do. That's pretty much the vibe.
Yeah.
It's like a normal car. You just like kind of down, and those things are just up on the plane. Just
you don't touch the bottom of the hole. You just skip right across the top.
Oh, the mental commitment.
You got to be careful though, because every once in a while the truck will go down into them, and that's when it takes more skill, right? It's 80% of the racing is just racing. It's really that 3 to 5% where you're like, oh shit, it's going bad. You got to know what to do, how to fix it, or you're going to be yarded.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think that, like you said, people can come into the sport that haven't trained forever to come into the subclasses and get some training and graduate. But it's pretty open. Like people can come in and race off road and learn the ropes.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time. Maybe they won't be the best, but they can come and be a part of it. That's kind of Score's credo, is there's a class for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's kind of the sport where you can also just spend a ton of cash, buy a couple good drivers to...
You could do that for sure.
And like you kind of can, like any Yahoo with a ton of cash can just be like, let's fucking go. Like I got 10 mil to burn. Let's do it and get a couple...
Goes quick.
Two drivers that also rip, and you can actually kind of get in and have a proper play. Just don't think that there's many other high-level sports like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's probably other racing sports where you could come in as a team owner.
Yeah. Like you could do it in like GT3 cars. But I think, Baja is just a pretty special case where you kind of can just throw down and really create like a crazy team and a crazy experience,
Yeah, no, it's amazing. We're very, very fortunate.
So do you remember like your first time down there?
The thing I remember the most about my early years was the very first thing I remember is as a little kid throwing up in the motorhome because I felt sick, and I think that I maybe used the tap water to brush my teeth or something back in those days. That was one of my earliest experiences. But one of the things I really remember as maybe a 6 or 7 year old is being on the main street in Ensenada, and back then there was no sat phones, there was no Starlink, there wasn't really communications, no cell phones, and we would wait for checkpoint times to be ham radioed in and to see the progress of the race. So they'd put a note on a glass window at this hotel in Ensenada, the Bahia. And I remember being a little kid with my mom waiting for information about my dad's race car. And that's how we did it. So those are my earliest memories. My fondest memories are probably that, 9 to 15 years old, pre-running with my dad, like getting to where I'm at the age where I can go out and I'm really learning the sport, but side by side with my dad, pre-run with him, ride with him in the race car, be with him at the finish lines, the start lines, all that stuff. Those are the memories. Now I'm creating my own memories, but I'm just a racer dork.
Yeah.
And then I was my dad's son, going to the races with him and learning from my dad.
How much success did he have as a racer?
He had a moderate success. He won in the limited classes. He never won an overall, which was really cool for us as the Steele family to win the overall in 2018 for the 4-wheel vehicles, put our family's name on that.
Yeah.
But he had decent success. He partnered with a guy later in his career named John Johnson, who's at the time was the winningest Ball 1000 driver. And they won a number of Baja Bug races. And my dad won some Class 8, which was the kind of unlimited pickups, but they were just metal body trucks with some suspension. So he raced a few different classes. He had some success. He had some big crashes. And he had a lot of fun with it. The passion was strong. And so I took from him and his partner, Johnny Johnson, and other partners and tried to make our racecraft grow stronger on the competitive side when I was in the limited cars. And we had great success.
Did you always know as a kid that you'd do it as well?
Yeah, for sure. There was never any doubt for me that off-road racing was where I was going. I got sidetracked with, riding waves. I got sidetracked with dirt bikes, but I always was there racing and came back. There was a time my mom was diagnosed with cancer in 91 maybe, and real bad advanced colon and ovarian cancer. And so our family stopped racing after I think 93. And so I didn't come back until 2001. My mom battled for like 6 years, and our family was, went from being, I wouldn't say we were wealthy, but we were comfortable. And we went from that to being completely destitute. My dad had given up his entire career to be with my mom. And I was like, my brother and I were kind of slack. Like we didn't really have careers. So we had to find our way. And so when mom passed, we started, we found our footing on how to get there. And for me, it was more of that trajectory of I sold cars for a while like my dad did.
Yeah.
And then I went on to marketing and sales and advertising and all that stuff. And I started building my own personal ability to do stuff. But the television commentary got me to a place where people would recognize me and made it more interesting for people to sponsor us initially because we didn't have the results.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when we came back, we were gone from 93 to 2001. When we came back, people, Score used it on a lot of their press releases, like ESPN Commentator. And so people just thought, oh, this guy's just a commentator dork.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't realize that I had this lineage going back to the 70s with my dad. But we came back and had some moderate success and found our way into trophy truck. But it was a tough time for our family, and I still, obviously, I miss my mom. I'm the same age now my mom was when she died.
Wow.
Which was really kind of one of those crazy moments. Like it was almost like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I actually, at one point, I calculated how many days after her 57th birthday she died. And so I would know what day to the day was after my birthday that would have been the exact same age, which I believe it was on Mother's Day.
Wow.
This year. And so surpassing that and having that anxiety about that, I battled, I don't talk a lot about it, but I battled a lot of crazy anxiety over the last decade.
Yeah.
And
is that just because of your mom?
No, I think I already had like a heavy like OCD anxiety base.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I really noticed it come on really exacerbated after Jeff died.
Yeah.
And it made me overthink everything in my life.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I couldn't drive out of my driveway and go down my street and turn without going back to make sure
you lock the house or
I
whatever.
shut the gate, or I didn't run over anything in my driveway.
Yeah.
Or I didn't miss something, like craziest dumb stuff. Like, so for the last 5 years, I've been working really hard to get past that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've made some great strides, but that anxiety was so insane. And
it started when Jeff died.
I wouldn't say it started, but it got insane. I mean, to the point where my wife was like, I can't live with you anymore. You got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And so my wife and family were more important to me than the anxiety.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get past that. But there's like crazy. Like,
what's worked for you?
I think the one thing that's worked for me the most is realizing, so like I got to the point where I couldn't ride on a trail and there was like a rock. I couldn't ride past it without moving it out of the trail.
Yeah, like compulsive thinking.
So I would get to this point where I'm moving 100 rocks a day. And people, the guys, the medics behind me or my navigator in the trophy truck, they're like, dude, your elevator's not going top floor, man. You got to get off this. But it was insane. Like one time I drove the Akatia Wells and I just freaked out and I drove home. I never even rode a 2.5 hour drive. And finally, about 4 or 5 years ago, I started, not even that long ago, maybe 3 years ago, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I've got myself in this box, right? I'm not functioning properly. And I had to look at myself and say, okay, I'm worried about X, but X hasn't happened to me in 45 years of being here. Stop worrying about X. Stop worrying about, was the light yellow? I've driven through intersections since I was 16, and I've done a pretty good job at it. So I got to just figure out that I can do that. So it got really crazy for me. I couldn't really commentate properly. I couldn't do a lot of things properly, and I had to find my way out of it. And so it really came down to there's a moment, maybe 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, my navigator, Cody, who's been, now he runs our operations for Desert Assassins, but he's been my navigator for the better part of 20 years. He's basically like...
He's family.
He's family, right? I mean, he's like one of my neighborhood kids. He's one of Haggie's, Ox. He's those guys. Yeah. And we're pre-running in San Felipe, and he's like, hey, you got to get your shit together or I'm out. We can't do this. You can't drive the race truck properly because you're worried about everything. Yeah. Stop. Yeah, stop. And it brought me to tears. I'm in the pre-run truck out doing reconnaissance, and I got tears in my eyes because I'm realizing that I've got to this point where I've like basically arrested myself.
Shutting down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to get over it. I used to not walk by anything that was wood without knocking on it. The worst case scenario was the scenario that was going to happen to me in my head. Yeah. So finally, I just like a few years ago, I was just like, okay, I got to get over this. I got to get past it. And I'm not past it. I still have I think for like 7 or so years, I could mask it enough. Yeah. Where people didn't see it, but then when people started to see it, they started to placate it. Yeah. They let it slide. And I think that let me get into a worse position.
Even deeper
because they were like, okay, well, we're going to move the rock or we're going to, whatever it is, like, okay, well, you got to wash your hands again or you got to use a sanitizer or you got to get a clean cup or what? Okay, cool. Get it. Let's move on. Yeah. But I felt like, for me personally, that as it became more of my normal, it became more exacerbated. It became more prevalent. Yeah. And that made it so everybody around me was like, hey.
Yeah, you need to stop.
And I might be over exaggerating a little bit.
No. That's
I might not have anxiety. I don't know what it is. It's not diagnosed.
How many of your New Year's resolutions have you been able to keep so far? I've been able to keep on track with my daily nutrition habits as I'm still starting off each and every morning with AG1, the same way I have for years. 1 scoop a day or one of the convenient travel packs when I'm away at the races make it really easy to stay on track with my health goals. For me, the benefits of taking AG1 every day are super clear. Firstly, it just sets the day off on the right foot. Secondly, after years of taking AG1, I know how good it is for my digestion and overall gut health. My skin is clearer and my hair and nails are healthier. I love that AG1 is NSF certified for sport, meaning it's been independently tested for quality. When it comes to my health, I want something I can trust, and that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. And AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure you check out drinkag1.com/gypsytales to start your new year on a healthier note. Yeah. Have you ever been to therapy?
No? I mean, when I was a little kid.
Dude, you need to go to therapy.
Yeah? Okay.
Fuck, bro. It's the best.
Really?
Mate, I'm telling you.
Okay.
1,000,000%. So I'll send you a lady's number.
Cool.
Bro, me and my wife I talk about it on here way too much. Sorry for everyone that listens. But me and my wife we see this chick every second Thursday.
Really?
And we've been doing it for 2 years.
Awesome. I'm sure my wife would have a lot to tell this person about me.
It's honestly the fucking best.
Yeah. Well, I'm super blessed that I've been able to get out of my own tailspin. It didn't I don't think it really cost me my career.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was definitely
affecting your life negatively.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to the point, like I said, the commentary was hard and I had to figure out how to say things different and do things different. It felt like to me.
Yeah.
And so I had to get out of it. So I've been out of it a lot more. Still can't. It's still not perfect.
Yeah.
But it's much better, and I'm having a lot more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. It's no joke, man. Especially, man, trauma just does crazy things to people, and to have Jeff pass away and then, you lose your mum it's devastating to watch somebody be sick for so long, my uncle died a few days ago, my dad's brother. Sorry. And dad's just, you see him face his own mortality now, we weren't very close. We moved away. I haven't lived in so it's not like I'm super close or was super close, but they're 18 months apart in their age. And dad's just fuck, have I got 18 months left?
Right.
You get confronted by these things in life, and trauma does crazy shit to your brain, And it's and that's why I'm saying go to therapy and have a person that is an expert at the mind and an expert at these things, and just legitimately has explanations. Oh, you're feeling this? I've treated thousands of people that have gone, you're not alone. You're not crazy.
Yeah, get out of my box.
Yeah, you moving this rock means this. And it's fine. This is what you're thinking. This is maybe where this is coming from. And therapy is almost like this process of discovery. You have a person that's across the way that they can't tell you, they can't accept gifts from you. You can't give them a hug. You can't, there's these clear boundaries. They can never tell anybody. They can't tell anyone you're the client. They can't tell, me and my wife will go separate sometimes. She can't tell me what my wife said. She can't tell, there's it's such a structured, controlled, regulated environment, and they're very well versed on the things that you're going through. It's it's so different than what people think it is, and now my wife and I have been doing it so long. It's when we got married, I was just we're doing it just as we're just housekeeping. We go to the gym, we do this. There's just
it's part of our life.
Part of life that keeps this whole show healthy and functioning, And there's a couple months at the start where it's kind of a little bit shitty because you do have things you haven't said or things you've been thinking about and stewing on that haven't been dealt with. But you do a couple of hard months and then you get through all that, and then you kind of just there supporting each other and hearing each other's shit from a different perspective. But man, I just can't explain how helpful and easy, and I look forward to doing it.
Good. I like it. So thanks for sharing.
I couldn't express enough how positive of an experience it is. So after this, I'll give you a number. But yeah, I mean, you can get fucking caught up in that shit.
Yeah. It had me caught up for sure.
And it's cool that you can even talk about it.
Yeah, I couldn't talk about it for a long time, and I realized I said it one time to somebody, and I kind of felt cathartic a little bit. I was nervous about saying it, but it felt like I was outing it a little bit, helped out.
Yeah.
And again, I've never been diagnosed with anything. That's how I feel. I feel like this edge of anxiety, and for a while, it just really took over.
Yeah.
I had a really hard time.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was really fortunate for is a bunch of my buddies pushed me to go back and ride dirt bikes. And my buddy Bobby Pico.
Throttle therapy.
Yeah, he went with me on a ride with my buddy Tim Martin down the Baja Peninsula, and it was probably the greatest thing I've done to really get back in touch. This was like right after, within a year, and it was really good to get back out on the dirt bike. And we do it in honor of Jeff. Now, all of our shows, live like Ox.
Yeah.
But I felt like it would have been. Me personally, I felt like it would have been disrespectful for me to not go back and do what we did together. And so I've carried it on and keep doing it. Keep riding dirt bikes.
My mum always told me something when I was a kid: a problem shared is a problem halved. And I feel like it's true.
Yeah, it's good.
And you probably find that when you do tell people and talk about it, like if you have good people in your life, which I know you do, I know a lot of your friends. It's like when you have good people in your life, that's kind of the beauty of it. Is like they can be there with way less judgment and with be way less critical of you than what you're probably being on yourself.
And they're probably all like oh, thank God he said something. I was about to slap this dude.
yeah. But it's funny, like, I have thought about it my whole life in the way that, like, I rushed to the dirt bike and I wasn't even that good of a rider. Just every day, all I wanted to do, ride my BMX bike, ride my dirt bike, just obsessed. When I left school, I didn't want to get a job. I worked at a motorbike shop. I just did all of these things to stay connected with the dirt bike. And it's like, I think so many of us, our people, are drawn to it because of those things. Like, it doesn't maybe get to that extreme level in people's life, but that anxiety, like to drive a trophy truck at 130 miles an hour down a whooped out road, like, you're trying to get away from something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, we've all had anyone that rides, like, there's a reason we gravitate, surfing, mountain biking, all of these activities that we do. There's a reason why we do that.
Else.
Like, we're extreme in some sense. There's something extreme going on with us, and we need that shit. Like, that's the mind clearer. That's the thing that gets the voices, and the conversation out of your head. And I think that's when that, there's other techniques that you can have in your everyday life that kind of give you that. And then, if you can ride once a week, if you can surf, if you can mountain bike, like, you just kind of, keep filling up that cup in a way,
I need more of all of it. Let's go.
It's so true.
I need more moto in my life, really.
Yeah. Is there any trail riding around San Clemente?
No, I don't get the trail ride at all. So been really focused. When we can, we get out and ride, like up in the Mojave, but there's really not too much for us to ride. I was thinking about the other day, I went on Beach Bash, which is in late July. And when was the last time I rode my dirt bike? Well, I hadn't ridden it since Hell Ride, which was in April.
Really?
And I was like, wow. So I'm going from, 1 5-day incredibly tough single track, like beat your head against the rock ride, to this other, pretty strenuous ride, but not too tough. But there's this window, right? In May and June and July, 3 months, I didn't ride. So there's a lot of expectation on yourself to be able to go back out and do it.
Yeah.
So I don't have anywhere local to ride. So I really don't. The only thing I do is ride my pedal assist mountain bike. I'm not fit enough to ride a regular mountain bike.
Dude, yeah, they're pointless. The e-bikes are just the best things in the world.
I keep trying to tell a few of my friends, but most everybody's bought in now. Everybody's there.
Yeah,
a few holdouts.
If you're riding an acoustic bike, we don't ride together.
We don't. I told my buddy the other day, we're just not going to ride together.
I took me, Hagee, and my mate Eli went on a ride, and he had an acoustic bike, and me and Hagee both got to the car park, and we're like, we're never fucking doing that ever again.
Yeah, can't do it. It's gotten to
Get with the program.
It's gotten to the point where I can't even do it with the guys that have the lesser, like the half-size motor. It's like, come Come on, we're here. Like
we're ripping, bro.
Yeah, we're here to rip some trails, right, and have some fun.
Yeah.
If I want to work out, okay, I'll put it on eco and I'll trail ride, but I'll do that with one person or by myself. If we're going out on a ride with a bunch of the boys, it's like it's full go, full gas. Let's go and let's do it.
What trails do you mostly ride? Dog park or
I ride a lot
Los
of dog
Ramblas?
park, and I do ride some Los Ramblas. I live right on the hills of Los Ramblas, so that's like my backyard. I can ride.
Oh yeah, you're near.
I'm 6 houses away from the trail.
Yeah.
So I can ride right out there. And
where does that spit you into?
Well, there's a confluence of like all these different neighborhoods that kind of lead into the top of Los Ramblas. So I'm probably like a mile from the top of Los Ramblas.
Yeah. Okay.
Where most people park to ride Los Ramblas or hike to the flagpole or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of dog park. Most everybody I ride with wants to ride and do small jumps and stuff. There's bigger jumps I don't jump.
There is some big dogs out there.
My biggest problem is for a long time I couldn't go moto to BMX back and forth. So I hung up all my BMX bikes. I wanted to just moto. Then I got into the 50 thing. I didn't moto for a while. And so I had a hard time going back and forth. But now my problem really is that I don't mountain bike enough to like really get confident. And to be truthful, I mean, I don't need to jump anything bigger than 6 feet at this point because I'm not getting paid to do it. Yeah. And I'm there to have fun. And there's a trail right around the outside of those big gaps. And I'm just like, it's good. I don't need it. So that's for the kids.
Yeah.
Or for the younger guys. There are some giant ones out there. But I'll ride all the top trails off the top of the hill. And, there's so much out there.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about going to ride more places. But again,
it's right there.
We live in everybody's vacation, right? People travel here to ride those spots. And we live, right here.
I need to stop talking about San Clemente.
I know. It's hard.
Yeah, I know, right?
We don't want anybody else to move there, though, right?
Dude,
well, there's no room anymore. Everything's built, right? It's built on the south. On one side's the ocean. One side's Camp Pendleton. On the other side is the old TRW testing facility. And on one side's the wilderness park. So it's like you can't really build anymore over here. So it's just got to buy existing.
There was the house next to us does Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I was washing my bike on like Saturday or Sunday or whatever. And the
motorcycle or
my motorcycle, yeah. I just washed it on my driveway. And the guy that was renting the Airbnb listened to the podcast and saw me and just like he got out of his car and was just like,
he's like, hey,
I was like, what the fuck?
You're the guy.
And I was like, fuck. And I always want to like say hello to people and shit, but I was like, no, not here.
Not at my house.
Not here. I don't want anyone to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's great to have it's kind of sometimes tricky having these like really sought after places right in your neighborhood, and the surf spots and the harbor, and because there's so many people coming, but it's beautiful. So blessed. My kids are jaded to it, and I try to tell them every day, hey, check out this sunset. Check out the view. Let's go down to the ocean. Let's walk the dog. They're like, I
want to play Fortnite.
I'm on my iPad.
Yeah.
I hide them from them.
Dude, you need to rent a place in like Chino for a few days. Yeah. Just residential Chino. And just be like, this is what it's like for most.
Yeah. Or rent a place where it's like 112.
Yeah.
Summer. Like, hey.
Just a little Airbnb in Hemet for a few days.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, you're in San Clemente. Just go for a walk.
Yeah, it's tough. I think that raising children is a very difficult thing. I felt like I had a good upbringing, taught respect, punished by my parents, boundaries, guidelines. And you try to do that with your kids and you feel kind of guilty, right? And it's just like, shit. It's like, how did my parents do it? Like my mom used to beat us with her hairbrush and chase us with her belt. And like she'd beat the crap out of us. My brother and I were complete assholes. Yeah, we were terrible, I'm sure. I feel bad for I always wish that my mom was around for when I had kids so I could apologize to her knowing what she went through to be my mom. But yeah, they beat our asses, and it's hard to beat your kid's ass. I told my kid not too long ago, my older one, I'm like, hey, get my belt. She's all, what? I'm like, get my belt. I'm going to spank you. She's all,
get out of town.
Like, stop.
She's like, no, you're not, bro. Chill.
That's tough, man. It's a weird spot to be. Parent, but it's very, very fortunate to experience it. But yeah, I miss mom and dad. They're both gone. So it's different when you're the elder statesman of the family, so to speak. There's no backstop anymore.
Yeah.
There's no one to go to for advice other than your friends. And I still get a big kick out of seeing some of my dad's friends. Still, I can hear stories a little bit. We were at the orphanage. True story about the orphanage was my dad first.
So this is the orphanage that you guys
support in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's called Rancho Santa Marta. And my dad knew the gentleman that founded it, Bill Lawrence. He was a fellow off-road racer. And at the time, my dad was racing his car with Racers for Christ on the side of it, unsponsored, but just proliferating the Christian lifestyle. We're not perfect, don't get me wrong. But we went to the orphanage. He no longer runs it. He's in his 80s, but his daughter runs it. He was there.
Yeah.
And he took the time with the whole group to talk about my dad.
Wow.
And it was pretty cool to hear some story time. And my dad had told, the story he told was that the first time we did the fundraiser ride, we raised $10,000 or whatever. Still awesome.
Yeah.
My dad's they were waiting for hours for us to get there. My dad's told him, this is just the beginning of something much larger. It's going to happen. And so now this year we raised about $400,000 for the orphanage and school. And it's growing, and my dad had the vision. And it's been a cool ride. But to hear someone talk about my dad is so cool now, because, it won't be long before there's not a lot of people around that remember him. The good news is my dad was kind of like me. Like, I have all these neighborhood kids that when I'm gone, they're 20 or so years younger than me. They'll be able to tell the story.
Yeah.
My dad was the same with a huge group of people, and my friends all knew my dad.
Yeah.
So like my partner at BAJA HQ, he grew up with us. Like, I've known him for 40 years. And so we can talk about my dad and he gets it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He would have been the biggest influence on your life, you think?
My dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was a mama's boy a little bit. When I was growing up, my dad was selling property, flying to destinations to sell property. Apple Valley, where Victorville is, and all that. He told me when there was nothing out there, he's like, one day this whole valley is going to be full of houses. I'm like, Dad, you're crazy.
That is crazy.
But he used to fly to destinations in Shasta, Northern California, in the deserts and wherever, and sell property. So I was mama's boy. Mom used to take us, pick us up from BMX riding or discipline or whatever. It was us and Mom. But my dad was just a huge figure in my life. Not only was he 6'5" and 340 pounds, he's a massive, gigantic man. I've been striving to stay at 200 pounds my whole life, just so I'm not that guy. Yeah. But he gave us a lot of lead. Like he bought the motorcycles, he took us motorcycle riding. He bought the race cars, he took us racing. He took us camping. He did all those things, and he influenced us to be willing to get out and do it. Yeah. And show us that you can. And so he was by far my greatest influence. And he was flying. He had planes and stuff. Yeah, he's as far as I know, he is an unlicensed plane owner. That's so savage. Never had a pilot's license. But was a good pilot? I don't know. I flew with him. I mean, I was a little kid, so I don't really remember too much about it. But those are the stories that I hear from his friends now. That's some Wild West shit, bro. It was different. It was a different life. It was the Wild West, though. Yeah, it really probably was. I mean, we're talking 50 years ago, getting it done and doing what you think is right, and probably treating people good and just going out and doing it. Racing cars, flying airplanes, riding dirt bikes. Yeah. I still remember him riding dirt bikes with us, and it got to the point where he's like, I'm not riding with you guys anymore. He was big, he wasn't in shape, but it got to the point where my brother was like, he was definitely on a trajectory to become a pro dirt bike rider. I was not. He was. Yeah. And my dad's like, I'm out. You guys just do your thing. I'll take you out to the track and go racing. And he did. He took my brother to all of the GFI, CMC, everything. So your brother was younger, eh? He is. He's 18 months younger. How does my brother's the exact same, 18 months younger, way better on a dirt bike. Yeah. How does it work? Well, I think we were two totally different people when it came to dirt bike riding. I liked to jump, and I liked to see the transition. And that probably came from my BMX background. My brother liked to go fast. And so I was really unwilling to shift into fifth gear. So it was something I never wanted to do. I'm kind of right there with you. Yeah, I do it in Baja, but I just never wanted to be on the motocross track. Like, I watch these guys, like they're like cross-rutting all day long.
just sending
wide open, and the inertia of the bike and them keeps them going straight. But it's like, I mean, I see that little edge they grab going off the jump, and I'm like, oh, just full of panic. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I did spend time. I rode most of those tracks with the helmet camera back in the mid 2000s.
Oh,
so
you did?
Yeah, I rode all the national motocross tracks. So the ones that are newer, I didn't ride obviously because they weren't there. But I rode in the
Troy.
I rode the grass at Unadilla. I rode the completely flat sand track at Southwick. I rode all those tracks. I did all of them. You know.
Could you see if there's any of that on YouTube? Like Cameron Steele helmet cam, like AMA national.
Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah, I rode Troy.
I remember that stuff.
Yeah, I rode all.
Was it? It would have been like an actual broadcast cam back then.
It wasn't a broadcast camera, but it was a much bigger unit and was strapped, I think, to the side of the helmet. And I carried a pack with a wire that went back into it.
Yeah.
And I actually rode in the practices with other riders.
No way.
Yeah, with the
like first practice.
I would ride both practices, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'd get special treatment, like when the track was all covered with grass at Unadilla. I got to ride it by myself first. Ezra is out on the big tabletop in the back, waving me, hit it. It's like this high of grass. I can't see anything. I don't know if there's a rock or what. I'm like, there's no way I'm hitting that, you know? But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, Red Bud, Bud's Creek.
Did you hit LaRocco's Leap ever?
Not. We just had this conversation. They just raced there recently. I did size it up, look at it from the outside, but there's like, no way. And we argued a little bit about it. Someone else was there that raced it. Oh, McGrath was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a 100-foot jump, but it looks so crazy. He's like, it's bigger than 100.
Has to be.
Has to be. So we looked it up. It's 120.
I was going to say, it's probably got to be like 120,
yeah.
130.
And they've changed it too. I think
it seems harder to hit than ever.
It used to go further outside.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is I was like cringing because I could see Jet and those guys there like apexing out to the inside of the turn and then still sending it. I'm like, oh, it's so punk rock.
You're like, that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, it's good. It's so good. Those bikes are so fast.
Oh, well, what bike would you have been doing those laps on?
Well, I rode those bikes was just on a stock Suzuki that they brought. It was a display bike.
Yeah.
Initially, and I think it was Lee McCullum who, after I rode a couple, he's like, I think we should like make sure this bike's like okay for you to ride because I'm out there riding on the practice, but it wasn't tuned by anybody. So yeah, so I was actually riding out of the tent, trying to think. I think Roger was there then.
Yeah, he probably would have been.
Yeah, Sebastian Tortelli was there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who all was there, but yeah.
Sean Hamblin, maybe?
Yeah, Hamblin was there for sure when I was working over there, yeah. Sobi Suzuki.
Yeah, Travis. Maybe that was a bit after.
Maybe after.
Yeah. Did you ever have a brand that you were tied to dirt bike wise?
No.
No. So you could kind of just rock up and ride whatever.
Yeah. When I tried to race, I raced on some Suzukis for a while, and then I raced on some Hondas. But I never had a brand I worked with. Later, when Rip de Cabo grew larger and we were working with Johnny, we started having a Honda affiliation for a little while. The trip was actually sponsored by Honda.
Nice.
It is not now, but yeah. I still ride Hondas.
Yeah. So have you been able to see the orphanage grow a lot over the last?
It's amazing. Over the last, even just the last decade. So we started this mission in 17 years ago. It was an idea that was brewing and building, right? But if you look over the last really 11 years, we've donated over $2.5 million. It does each year. If we donate $400,000, it still doesn't get 1/5 of their operating budget now. So they have right now they have 41 kids that live there, but they're not just orphans; they're orphans with disabilities. So they take all the hard cases. And so they have permanent housing for boys and girls that will never leave. So they have a house called Victor's House. Victor came to them in the early 80s. He still lives at the ranch with them.
Wow.
So it's a moving place, and they have the orphanage. So on one side is the buildings for the orphanage and people that live with them and some of the special needs stuff. And then on the other side, they have a giant school that originally was started for kids that were hard learners that were bussed in from as far as Ensenada and San Quintin, so maybe 3 hours to the south and a couple hours or an hour to the north, and it was a place that had these different classrooms like autistic and all these different special needs classrooms. But now it's 250 kids every day that are bussed in or brought in to go to school. It's an amazing place. Their funding from the Mexican government, as I understand, is very small. Like not much of their budget comes from them. I don't know the exact details, but it comes from people like us or Christian groups, missionary groups. A lot of people that have been touched by it through off-roading, because the Baja 500 goes right by it. They're touched, that we bring them there. People see it, they become involved. Even if they're not on Beach Bash, they're still involved. Yeah. We had something like 140 donors to raise that $400,000, including lots of race teams, drivers, dirt bike riders, past and present, companies from the industry, just really people getting behind it and going all in.
So that you've got to put a lot of time into this, eh?
I put a huge amount of time into it. I realized a couple years ago that trying to fundraise for 2 months was too much. It was driving everybody crazy. So I made my own personal quest to do all the fundraising in 2 weeks, but everybody knows it's coming.
Yeah.
But it is a big undertaking for us each year. This year we had, like I said, 44 people. We've had as many as 90 people. We've been trying to keep it a little bit smaller, and it doesn't impact negatively the fundraising, because the ride is completely autonomous from the fundraising. The fundraising does not fund the ride.
Yeah.
The riders fund the ride.
Yeah.
And so, but having more riders there is good to see the orphanage and school, but it's nice to have a little bit less people having to chase down and follow. I ride sweep. I ride on the back of the group, so I'm always paying attention. I like to manage from the back.
Yeah.
Can't see what's going on in the front. That's Johnny. Johnny leads them with our buddies Andy Bonnet and Mark Moss. They lead all the rides.
Yeah, right.
They lead Rip to Cabo also. And so then I sweep with the medics in the back.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do it one day.
Yeah, you got to come.
I want to do it as well, just for the, I guess, because, it does feel like California's Cape York.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be blown away with what it looks like down there. It's really, really spectacular. We can go for a ride anytime you want. We can go down there and just go ride. Yeah,
it's always been a bit hard with me with visas and shit. I always get a little bit like, but I think
crossing back and forth.
Just like the border and stuff like that.
I totally understand.
It's just like one of those things, especially these days. You're just like, seems tough. But my brother's down there because he does all the stuff with Team Australia.
Okay. Oh, he does. He's with Paul and Toby.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So he does like all of their like management and sponsorship, and then they do like
what's his name?
Matty.
I probably met him.
You would have.
Know him. Yeah.
He works with Steve Shearer.
Yeah, I'm sure. I see those guys quite a bit.
Yeah. So, but he's down like he's done it every year for years and years, and I always say I'm gonna do it. But I just love that kind of riding.
Yeah. Well, we can do it here in the States. We can take you for a ride. But nothing beats riding along the Pacific.
Yeah, I just want some tacos, some real nice people, don't want to speak the language.
Yeah,
just
we can
learn how to say hi, bye, thank you, appreciate you.
Yeah. How to order a beer, how to find the bathroom, and how to get a bed.
Yeah. And just what tacos are good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's it definitely would have to be rewarding over all of these years to see the progress of the orphanage.
Yeah, someone actually asked him while we were there. They're all, how many buildings do you have now? They have like 50 buildings on the property. I think they said they have 400 acres there. So it's a big farm ranch area, and it's just right along Highway 1. I mean, it's right. You can see it off the side. It's called Rancho Santa Marta, just about 4 miles south of a town called San Vicente, which is about an hour south of Ensenada. And they're doing the Lord's work there. It's a total passion. Yeah. The founder and his wife, their daughter their kids were born in Mexico, raised. Their daughter runs she's the director now. Really? And her husband, and they have 3 boys, and they work at the ranch. And I mean, there's so much commitment.
Yeah,
they make us look like complete assholes.
Yeah, you get some people that just fully dedicate.
I try to feel better about myself about giving back some, but these people are
all in.
All in.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that takes a very special kind of person.
It does take a lot of passion.
So what have you got coming up for the rest of the year?
Rest of the year, we're currently leading the points in the SCORE two-wheel drive trophy truck class. So we have 2 more races there, the Baja 400 and Baja 1000.
Yeah.
We have our 20th anniversary Ripped Cabo
in
October.
Yeah.
We have 2 ESPN shows brewing right now. Trail Emissions will air on August 10th.
Is there like a trailer for that on YouTube?
It's not on yet. It'll come up August 1st.
Do you have any old ones?
Oh yeah, they're all. If you go to YouTube, there's tons of Trail Emissions and Ripped Cabo.
So what's it called? Trail
of Missions.
Of Missions.
Yeah. So the Mission Trail that runs up through California started in Loretto, the original capital of the Californias when it was all one California, is in Loretto. And so we take people to the birthplace of the Mission Trail. We take them to some of the remote mission locations. And this is a family. Like if you see that 2019 right there, the 24 was the UTVs. We did that for a couple of years. But the 2019, this is all basically in Raptors, and I got my kids with me. Everybody's bringing their kids. We're going swimming.
And thanks for joining us for what is a trip.
And so this is through ESPN every year.
My name is Cameron Steele, and I'm
We've
your host
been
for the 2019
with
Monster Energy
ESPN now, I
Trail
think.
Emissions presented
Well, I've
by
been with
ESPN
ESPN
Radio.
since '99. But
Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's my dad.
Baja in the 70s, and seemingly since, I have been sharing this magical place as well as making an effort to give
see,
back.
there's 116, 156,000. So now we're in the 400s.
That's epic.
This is all.
We know
I mean,
is it's filled with some of the most epic missions.
No
beaches,
way. This is
people,
amazing.
and off-road terrain in the world.
So do you still do this every year?
Every year. We just did it. We just had 55 people and all those kids and families. And
what was your favorite part, Lacey?
This is awesome. That's sweet. So yeah, you got a bit on.
Yeah, we got a bit going on, and we have the CSPN show coming, and then we have the Ripped Cabo with probably around 36 riders, 10 days, and the 2 big races, and those are kind of our big things we have going on the rest of this year. There's like 6 projects with the ESPN shows. We also have the Colorado 500, which we do the media arm for.
Yeah.
And so that's another charitable fundraising effort that we do, trying to raise money for the Trail Preservation Association and local charities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
McGrath's the Grand Marshal this year. Last year was Johnny Campbell.
Sick.
The year before was Ricky Braybeck.
Oh, awesome.
And if you ever want to ride a good trail, you will not believe what you can ride in Colorado. You can't believe that it's legal. But not only is it legal, it's regulated and taken care of by these trail preservation groups. And there's a bunch of local groups that go out and open the trails every year for blowdowns or whatever and make it passable. And so there's great single track, there's great 2-track, there's big grader roads, there's giant elevation. You know, we ride to 13,000 feet. Oh. We ride single track above tree line.
Yeah.
So that's a big project still for us this year. That's coming up in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's busy.
Yeah.
We never stop. We do about 3 truck trips a year. We also have a truck trip in September. I forgot to mention that. But we have 3 truck trips a year, 4 dirt bike trips a year, 6 races a year, including King of the Hammers, which features 5 or 6 race classes for us. We make at least 3, but sometimes as many as 5 TV shows a year, and just, continually building social content and sharing and fundraising
and
for
so
different things.
Are you what's your team consist of to pull all this off?
It's very small. The Desert Assassins are a giant group of people, but that actually works with us is really just myself and Cody and a couple other helpers. It's tiny.
Dude, you're doing a lot with a little.
Yeah, we have, a contractor that does our editing and guys that do our filming. And so, there's probably in the core group of working all the time towards these projects somewhere around 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of moving parts for a small group of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But the good news is that it's all these people that we know or we get to know, and they all fit well and they all help and participate. And, we have 100 people on the Baja Peninsula for the Baja 1000.
Yeah.
95 of them are volunteers.
Yeah.
But they're the best of the best. And
yeah.
we've won together, and we'll hopefully keep winning together.
And you've got Baja, the Baja HQ is your shop.
Oh, yeah. We have a shop called Baja HQ.
Where is that?
It's in San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah.
If people are familiar with, a lot of people are familiar with where the 5 does the big bend, like when it gets to the coast and turns south in Dana Point. We're 1 mile before that, basically right behind the Ford dealership. We have a 12,000 square foot building with 5 bays, about 100 and so vehicles a month coming through there. We're a tire and wheel store for anybody, any vehicle. We work on the wives Mercedes or the SUVs, but our specialty is off-road. So we'll bigger tires, wheels, suspension, bolt-on kits, all kinds of stuff, running boards, racks, whatever you can think of off-road. We do it. We sell it and we install it.
Yeah,
it's fun. And like I said, our calling card is Baja HQ sharing the stoke. And that's kind of the idea. Like get people out, help them facilitate that dream of going off-roading. I realize that probably 90% of the trucks or vehicles that we work on probably never see dirt.
Yeah.
But
the dream's there.
The dream's there. And some of them do get out and do it. And now that Desert Assassins is hosting a little bit more truck trip stuff, it's allowing some of those people to come with us to see our vision of Baja.
Yeah.
So still small groups, but it's been a lot of fun to share.
Can you pull up the Baja HQ website? I just want to give you a bit of love.
Yeah, thank you.
Just
appreciate it. Yeah,
make sure people get the visual of where it is.
My partner Brandon Purick, Andy Bonin, Mike Kraft, and my wife Heidi were all part of it. And the idea is to be able to share with our friends.
There you go.
Vehicle building, and they can come in and hang out. Like you can buy online, and we'll drop ship it to you, or have the companies drop ship to you. But basically all the products are used in Baja that we do. So we sell everybody. We showcase our partners, but we sell every company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually like a real business. Kind of scary, actually.
Yeah, I know it's a real business. It's massive.
It almost feels like I almost feel like a grown up a little bit.
Yeah, I bet.
But I'm still pretending. I probably try not to admit any grown up tendencies till I'm well over 70.
But I kind of like it. What you've done, I think, is like.
Look at the cactus,
dude. That's
the Cardones. That shot right there is only 5 hours south of the border.
That right beautiful.
There is 3 hours south. That's 45 minutes south.
I might need to do one of the truck trips.
The truck trips are almost better than the bike trips because there's far less risk.
Yeah.
But you also, if it's a little cold in the morning, you have the seat heater. It's a little warm in the afternoon. You have the air conditioning.
Yeah.
And you get to live it, and you can share it with people that can't ride.
Yeah.
So the one thing about the ride trips is it requires a pretty
rider.
Serious amount of ride. Now, Baja Beach Bash maybe a little bit less, but Rip to Cabo is very intense. 2,000 miles possibly, 10 days of riding, hard stuff. No little easy stuff. I mean, yeah, there's roads and pavement we have to do, but we ride all the hard stuff.
Yeah.
So in the truck, you put the kids in the back, you laugh, you drive for an hour or two, you get to a location, you go to the beach. You drive an hour or two, you get to a mission. You drive an hour or two, you do this. So like it's kind of the formula is more Baja Sur, where it's a little bit prettier, not maybe prettier, but easier to get around. The roads are a little bit
more accessible.
A little bit more accessible.
How good does your truck need to be?
Not my Raptor has an upgraded Fox shock. You don't need it. They come with Fox shocks on it.
Yeah.
So I say get a 37-inch tire and level it, and that's all you need. Not much.
Might need to do some upgrades.
Yeah. I mean,
it
doesn't have to be Raptor either. We have F-150. We have some other vehicles come. On the big trip on trail missions, we try to make it mostly all Raptor because they're so capable. Yeah. And the distance they can cover, fuel-wise, is 2 to 1 over every other vehicle. So, like, we can plan days if everybody's in a 4-door Raptor where we don't have to get fuel for 2 days.
Dude.
But if you bring other brands or other vehicles, then you're stopping for fuel twice a day sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
So Ford doesn't sponsor it, but just the Raptor is a perfect vehicle.
That's the truck for it. Yeah.
We have worked with them in the past, and we were the Bronco race team when they launched Bronco.
Oh, but you guys did that?
Yeah, we were the team that did that.
How was that car?
It was fun. It was amazing to see that. Now we understand why Raptor is so good, because of the intense scrutiny they put everything through. And when we raced Bronco, we didn't have to race all these stock parts, but they did. They raced a stock motor, stock transmission, like all these different components. It was the actual parts that they use on the trucks. Like, I'm not exactly sure if it was the exact transmission for Bronco or which Bronco it was, but all these coolers, all these different things, all had to be stock. And I was like, and they would come out and we would test hundreds of miles, and they'd be like, yeah, it's working perfect. I'm like, it is working perfect.
That's unreal. Yeah, that would have been a cool experience.
It was a fun experience. It was interesting. I'd never been like on a big factory team before, but we were those factory guys for 2 years racing in Baja. Johnny Campbell helped us manage the team. And we had a big group of team that went along with us, Kurt Leduc and a couple other guys.
Oh, yeah.
That are still, like Kurt Leduc and the Lovell brothers and Jason Shear were all part of it. We brought all them in, and they're still, and Shelby Hall.
Yeah.
They're all doing Ford stuff still. We are just doing trophy truck stuff now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but we drive Raptors everywhere because we trust them.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Except for here, I drove my Bronco today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just think you're a guy that, I love how you've lived your life, where you've just followed your passions, you've followed the things that you want to do. And I imagine of all the things that you do and how busy that you are, I bet you would do most of these things for free if it really came down to it.
Sometimes I think I do most of them for free.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of a good way to live.
Yeah.
You know, if you would do this stuff for free, but you actually get paid to do it.
I try to avoid it feeling like work. Sometimes when we're racing, it really feels like we really are buckled down and really doing it when the big group's there and we're there to race and the focus is on, because the risk is so high.
Yeah.
You know, not just for us in the car.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
And we really have to be focused on that. But yeah, it's all work, but at the same time, it's our passion, and very fortunate to carve out an existence that proliferates the lifestyle for real.
Yeah.
A lot of people say their work is their lifestyle. I mean, our work is our lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very, from somebody that's trying to do that myself, it takes a lot of work, you know,
For sure.
A lot of times it doesn't feel like work, but it is a lot of work, and there's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time. So yeah, when I see guys like you that are living the dream, I have a massive level of respect.
Thank you.
So,
I see what you're doing in your effort. It's really monumental.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Being able to listen to some of the effort that you've made, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, thanks, brother. Yeah. Well, I hope I get to see you on a ride or a drive.
Let's not hope. Let's just do it.
We will definitely.
You're going to do it next year.
I will definitely see you. I think next year is I think I can do next year. Okay. I'd love to do that.
Beach Bash in July. And if you're
is that in the car or the bike?
That's on the bike. And the Trucking Good Times in January. Good trip. 5-day trip. Perfect. Right around Martin Luther King weekend. Third weekend. You'll have to miss a Supercross though. Usually there's a Supercross we miss. We watch it from down there. But the good news is when you come back, Supercross will still be there.
I was going to say, Supercross will be, I'll miss one round to be there.
Never a good time to go, but you just got to go.
I think that's a very good theme of this episode.
Yeah, all right.
So, Cameron Steele, thank you very much, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, mate.
High five.
Epic.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.